that the right can use so much more political. They're so much more well armed, and they're much more insane. They're much more willing to use that against our fellow citizens. And a lot of the people who encourage that situation, encourage their followers to hate, right, and to use force, that would be Charlie Kirk. That would be Charlie Kirk. And so in this moment, I can talk about that Charlie Kirk did that.
Let's say you're right about Charlie Kirk being a fascist and a far-right icon that kind of deserved what was coming to him, even if
I didn't say that. Don't try it. Don't try it.
That's the implication of what you're
saying.
No,
it's not.
Rhetoric made the world
you can try that, but it won't work for me. It's impossible to work for me.
While it's terrible and we should condemn it, we also need to highlight the fact.
But it's really easy. Like, fuck. Prime Kai could just simply argue, well, like Prime Kai can just simply say, well, guess what? All right. Obviously, I don't like assassinations because I don't like vigilantism, right? However, I think that this, like, hand-wringing is absolutely cringe. This hand-wringing is cringe, and we all know that there are a bunch of hypocrites. So why are we pretending, right? So the thing is that, like, you can have, like, these positions are compatible with one another. Yeah.
Fucking liar. You're a fucking liar. Everyone who can hear you knows you're a fucking liar. Actively trying to edit my words in this moment. I won't let you. You're an amateur at this. It won't work.
I will let the people watching decide on that. But let's say what you're saying is true. Let's say Charlie Kirk is a terrible fascist that makes the world a much terrible place. What do you think the average American thinks of when they hear of Charlie Kirk?
I think the average American doesn't know who Charlie Kirk is.
Well, they may not know him specifically, but they kind of just see him as a mainline conservative, right?
Okay.
He's considered just kind of...
Just real quick, $10 from Joe the Mig to say, Kirk wasn't a fascist, and this rhetoric is exactly the problem. Calling someone a fascist incorrectly is literally a call to action among the far left. Why lie about this?
Who the fuck cares when you have somebody on here that's not willing to disavow any of the right-wing violence by saying you haven't seen violence at all. You have no idea what it could possibly look like if you actually had a militia and they weren't actually just LARPing people who were talking about then trying to actually plan there was a kidnapping plot against the governor of Michigan. And our response is, who the fuck cares? They weren't actually a armed, properly trained militia. Go fuck yourself. How dare you talk about how there is all of this violent rhetoric on the left and you can't even acknowledge it when it comes from your own fucking party. That is insane.
Oh my god. Based.
To me.
If we want to, just in the spirit of putting words in people's mouths, let me ask Deej just a direct question. Deej, do you condemn all the violence that any right-leaning person has committed in the name of politics?
Of course.
Oh, cool.
No then, about it.
Yo, Masaki, thank you so much for the $15 donated via Streamlabs. Thank you so much, buddy. Thank you. That's very kind of you to do.
So, but see, the eye roll there is is the frustration that people on the right are having when we see people on the left saying, "Oh, we condemn this violence," or even taking it, we condemn. Like, I think AOC's response was, the gun violence and political violence.
Nebraska Peach
needs to end. And
when did my demeanor change? When was I no longer on the same team? When we weren't able to properly acknowledge the violence that we do on our own side as a righty. No?
Well, I mean, we can roll the tape.
We can, but now we're saying that we condemn all of the right-wing violence, so I guess...
No, roll the tape back. The very first thing I said when we got onto this topic...
Oh, sorry, not you, Deej. I'm sorry. Yes, you're right.
Yeah,
I mean... Not Deej.
Yeah. I just want to clarify. Yeah, that was the first thing I said. I think was I basically largely conceded the Whitmer point, and of course easily January 6th and the Minnesota state lawmakers. So as far as yes, these are clear examples of politically motivated violence coming from the right. The only point I was making was I feel like I see more coming from the left directed at the right than that got us in the back and forth whataboutism that Wick was trying to move us away from. I think that's a fair summary of where we were at.
Can we disavow January 6th violence or no?
Yeah, of course.
That's okay. Yep, cool.
Okay, I have to use the restroom. I'm going to put Prime in charge of the moderating. Prime.
Okay.
No.
Give us the camera, but I will.
Don't worry, I won't step in.
I'll be right back.
Sure.
I
all right.
Sorry. Let's continue really quickly because Big Peach was saying that I wasn't condemning violence on the right. I want to make it clear.
Do you guys like the YouTube title?
Fully condemn violence from the right. I condemn January 6th. I'm not a January 6th truther. I'm not even a Trump supporter. I didn't vote for Trump. I condemn all the acts of right-wing violence. My reason for going after the Gretchen Whitmer case is because, for all the cases you want to make of right-wing violence, that is the weakest one. It's not like FBI entrapment. It was planned by the FBI.
But it's still an example of it.
Orchestrated by the FBI. They were trained by the FBI. When every step of the way, the only way this plot ever could have happened was from FBI involvement. It makes you wonder who's actually responsible for the kidnapping plot, right? January 6th, bad. The assassinations that were committed in Minnesota against that judge, horrible, right?
Okay.
And I'm
cool.
not gonna like say, well, oh, you know, they're soft on crime Democrats, so it's just kind of what they get, right?
Yeah, there's no yes,
That
but
would be
that's the
stupid.
key part.
They pled guilty, though, did they not? The Gretchen Whitmer case?
Well, I mean,
Some of them did, but the ones that did not plead guilty were acquitted.
That's
And-
fine.
and-
And also,
And that's
you
why
can
I'm trying to
see-
be fair and nuanced regarding that case. Just once again, as a practicing lawyer who has prosecuted cases like these and defended, well, not like these, but prosecuted multiple defendant cases and whatnot. It's there's just a million reasons to get to where the case is strong against some and it's weak against others.
Sure.
Guilty pleas can be
And-
taken for you can know you're not guilty, but when you're looking at 10 years if you're found guilty versus a probation plea deal,
We all
yeah, I-
understand that. But
But-
just to throw out the whole entire thing by saying it's not the strongest example. I never said it was the strongest example. Did I say that?
well,
I don't know
even-
why we have to have this I don't know why.
Lactoid, do you have a camera, please?
Oh my god, Peach is really channeling that fucking schizo Foodshops energy right now. I feel like this is just how I argue in every single fucking anti-fan debate.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
All
don't
I'm saying is
understand.
it's really weird. It's just so weird when we bring up examples of violence on the right that instead of just agreeing that violence is bad, the first thing that we do is attack it and say that it's not that big of a deal.
Well-
But we can
Is this the start of a coalition? Dude, she's always welcome in my coalition.
move off of that, but
and yeah,
I still
I
stand very strongly on my position here.
I really, yeah, I really don't want
unfair.
to go down the rabbit hole, and make this whole thing about this Whitmer case, but at
Mhm.
least to maybe find some common ground. Can you at least acknowledge that there was not insignificant amount of federal involvement in the investigation?
Sure.
Okay, yeah, I think that's the only point we're trying to get at. Our feeling is that there was more influence, more involvement than you think there was, but as long as we can all
Gotcha.
agree there was some involvement, I think beyond that we'll just have to agree to disagree on the rest of it.
Yeah, that's all.
Okay. I missed what Lactoid had to say. I'm
Oh,
again.
you haven't said anything yet.
Oh.
Hasn't said anything.
Okay. Well,
He's just been
Lactoid,
silently
Lactoid,
stalking.
I want to give you some space. And Prime, if you can cam up when you can, after you put your nipples away.
What?
Lactoid, you're here.
Yeah,
What are your
so
thoughts?
yeah,
Go
I'm
ahead.
here. If you guys can hear me, my mic's been a little bit. I'm not going to stand too long. My mic's been a little bit messed
Yeah.
up. I just wanted to, I guess,
Ouch.
say a few things.
Destroyed.
I think this was very shocking. I saw the video.
Oh my god, this Lactoid guide is insufferable. This guy is like... Dude, this guy's so insufferable.
Basically right away. And kind of as the day progressed, kind of was absorbing what everybody was saying. And I've been saying for like a few weeks now that how people react to things is usually more interesting to me than events themselves, because events themselves are usually much smaller than what the audience reaction is, right? So I mean, I should be no surprise that I think this is pretty awful. I mean, on a human level, I sort of don't like.
Yeah. Get the 50th disavow out of the way. That's boring. Just stop. Just stop. Like, what is it with like the 50th fucking disavow? Like, do you get like, do you get like fucking free fucking burger points at Wendy's or something every single time someone makes a disavow? Like does someone just get like this, like are they being paid for every disavow? What's going on here?
I understand what happens, but I sort of don't like this thing that happens where
So
every
boring.
argument has to be framed in like, well, yeah, of course it's bad. It's going to hurt us. It's going to hurt the left. It's going to lead to this. I mean, the thing that really hit me at first was when I learned that his wife and 2 kids were in the crowd. I think that's pretty jarring. Just to start with, he's somebody
no
that
shit,
is
Sherlock.
a media figure. We sort of have this pseudo. Obviously he doesn't know us, but
Wait, I'm sorry. Is this like fucking Charlie Kirk Remembrance Day or something? Did I miss like Dear Leader Trump's fucking call to remember Charlie Kirk on his fucking Remembrance Day? I'm sorry. Did I miss the memo on that? Sorry. I was like checking in my fucking Neuralink to make sure I got the call directly from fucking from Donald Trump. Did I miss something? Did I miss the memo?
again, this sort of thing that public personality figures have. People, attach themselves to celebrities more so than just unnamed people. It's just something that happens. I disagree that he's a fascist. I don't like the fascism rhetoric that's just always going around. This is something that I'm going to disagree on with Prime and a lot of lefties for a long time.
But he is a fascist, though, right?
I mean, I think, if I'm not mistaken, Prime, I was
is.
fascist adjacent last stream. So, I mean, this is...
Okay, dude.
I understand that, like, this is sort of how the left in America does characterize just sort of modern day conservative.
Just by the way, no one is actually pushing for killing fascists, okay? It's like if your neighbor just happens to be fascist, like that doesn't give you like moral justification to kill them, obviously, right? Of course. But in a country, like let's just say it's Ukraine, okay? And everyone who's invading you just happens to be a fascist. Then yeah, like you're killing fascists, right? Especially like Russian fascists who are going around and like trying to invade your country. Then yeah, it really depends, right? Because in the United States, we have fucking freedom of speech. No one is making this argument. No one is making the argument of like it being justifiable to kill anyone who calls himself a fascist. That's silly. This is a complete straw man that's been made up.
Going back, kind of almost. I mean, I'll stay for a little bit for comments or questions or whatever, or if Wick wants me to say anything else. But the reaction to this, I think, is pretty jarring. This guy went up to go speak his mind and debate people, and he was shot. And Twitter is apparently Blue Sky's even worse, but left-wing Twitter is just all over this. It's like celebrating the sort of like establishment dem.
Bro, this happens every single fucking time, dude. This happens every single fucking time. Something happens to the something happens to the left. Every single time there's like perpetrated by a fucking right-wing shooter. This happens. Like people go immediately into defending gun laws, right? Or whatever the fuck. I don't know.
Dems are doing pretty good at condemning this, but like a lot of the snark, like central left, is having a grand old time as well.
Okay, now
I think Destiny even said that anybody who on the left who condemns this.
Yeah, he said empathy is a disease. Exactly. Why should I have sympathy for somebody who says that sympathy or empathy is a disease? Like what a crazy what a crazy thing, like, to turn back on, I guess.
This is like cucked, or is a weak and cucked. So I guess all of you are weak and cucked as well. Just pretty horrific shit that's being said. Yeah, I mean, I guess
obviously,
those are my thoughts.
Yeah, obviously.
Can I respond to
respond real quick.
Lactoid?
Respond real quick.
Yeah, sure. Lactoid said last stream, meaning the Reverie, which we have Mondays, 8 p.m. Eastern, on the Prime Kai channel.
Check it out, gang.
But last week, sorry, on Monday, what I said to you, I didn't call you fascist adjacent. I said that liberals are the handmaidens of fascists, right? And you're acting like a liberal, so you are adjacent.
Oh my god. Okay, I'm just gonna. Prime is in a realm all on his own, okay? All right? Prime is not living in reality. It's okay, okay? He says that liberals are adjacent to fascists, are like a hand grenade of fascists, he said? Jesus.
To fascism in the same way that Wick is, right?
I don't even know what to say anymore.
With his policies that weaken the left, Wick with his policies that give in to authoritarianism. Like, so you're I was equating you to Wick, which was a huge insult. I shouldn't have done that to you. It was probably uncalled for. But to be clear, I wasn't calling you a fascist, right? I don't think you're a fascist. Actually,
He's calling you Wick. He's calling you mean.
Yeah, I was calling him Wick, and it was really bad. And again, man, like that wasn't cool of me, so I apologize, Lactoid. But still.
Christ.
Is that Prime? Yeah, it's Prime.
The greater scheme of these things, right? Yeah, so I think, well, to be clear, what did you think of my comments in particular, right? So my comments were strict.
Just, by the way, everyone is just overwhelmingly making edgy jokes at the expense of his death, or they're pointing out the double standards that is displayed by the right, okay? So, just, by the way, okay, not... I mean, I have seen people, like, celebrating it, okay? But, like, it's not the same as, like, the right, when every single time some kind of, like, left-wing... It's just like, listen, you're just giving someone the dose of their own medicine for once, okay? That's it.
Saying that in this moment we should be able to discuss their political past, right? You disagree with the fascist label, okay? But like we should be able to discuss a person's political work in these tragic moments.
Okay, before you do that, before you respond,
okay,
I just read these super chats, make a little money, and then I'll let you respond, and then I have a thought, and then you can leave if you need. $2 from Starhawks to say define fascism. We'll do that later. $2 from Gelatinous Rube to say Kirk was a moderate. You get the fascies next. Well, he wasn't a moderate. Let's be clear. I don't think he was.
Crazy.
He was not a moderate. No.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
You can disagree with the fascist thing, but he was not a moderate. Let's be real. $20 from Audacity to say all the details are going to rile up the right on this: the wife, the kids, violence for speech, etc. Anyone talking about but more right-wing escalation is brain broken. Just gave Trump MAGA a ton of ammunition to escalate.
Oh, yeah, speaking of donations, you guys should donate too, okay? Support the stream, okay? Support who I am, support my content, okay? I have currently around 350 people watching right now. Thank you guys so much for being here. I really appreciate you guys being here. And yeah, combined across Kick and YouTube. Okay, so thank you guys so much. I appreciate you guys, and yeah, keep it frosty. Okay, yeah.
Well, in that, so you can respond
That
to both of
reminded
us
me of
just real
something, by the
quick.
way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There absolutely are elements on the right that are escalating this, that are making this far, far worse. And to deny that is to deny reality. And you can say that the left gave them a lot of ammo.
Okay, but was he vaxxed? Did he have fentanyl in his system? Did anybody check?
To do so, fair, right? But you don't have to use it, right? It's not necessary to use it. Like, you do not have to escalate this situation, but there are many giddily doing so, right?
Yeah.
And I condemn those just as much as I condemn Destiny and condemn all the people on the left celebrating this. I condemn them both.
I'll address the I guess
Please.
3 or 2 points and then something I meant to say something earlier that actually that last super chat reminded me.
The dankest dungeon.
I guess Prime, what
Cash USD. Thank you so much for the 1 month sub. Thank you.
I have to, like, my response to you is I obviously liked that how you started out. I understand because I know you, I know like what you mean, but the sort of criticism coming from I think Gen Z lawyer is his name here, of when this is followed up with, it's very easy for people to interpret this as some kind of implicit justification, even if you don't mean it that way, because I mean this is what people, like a lot of people, will do, and people who don't.
I mean, if you want to tackle the actual policy, then let's tackle it. Okay, more gun control. Let's talk about it. More gun control. Let's tackle the actual policy here. Okay, if you put all the rhetoric aside and put all the memeing aside and put all the like violence and stuff aside, let's talk about the actual like fucking policy. The policy is more gun control. It's really
know
simple
you
as
so
that.
well might
Yeah.
like think that that's what you are doing. Like, if Martin Luther, like if I say, yeah, Martin Luther King shouldn't have been shot, it was really bad, but let's just remember he was a communist. Like that but there could mean a whole bunch of different things, even if what I mean is something very different than what it implies. So I understand what you mean, and I think that the audience probably shouldn't read too much into that, but I also get why some people might find that to be objectionable in a vacuum. As to Wick's point, in terms of some people using this to like rile people up, yeah, that's bad, for sure. But sort of in connection with that and the last super chat, one of the things I don't like, and this is also something that Destiny's been doing, and a lot of people have been doing, actually, not the left, because they're just like openly supporting it, but the sort of kind of center left, is this sort of like weaponized whataboutism, where like you're not allowed to even have this conversation until you do what we want you to do, until you.
That's correct.
You condemn who we want you to condemn. We don't want to even hear your take, even if it's right.
Dude, is God, what is this guy's name? Lactoid? Fucking Lactoid. God, even his name begins with an L. Dude, this motherfucker is so fucking insufferable. Okay? He's so fucking annoying. Holy shit. I am tired of hearing this guy. Okay? Dude, get out of here. All right? I can't stand people like this. Dude. Yes, we are, actually. Yeah, we do ask that you become a little bit less of a bitch. Okay, yes, that's right.
Like, there could be a massacre tomorrow, and I don't even want to hear what you have to say unless I scour your Twitter and find somewhere where you condemned Hitler. I think this is just a silencing tactic. I mean, let's be honest. This was what a lot of people were doing with the All Lives Matter stuff. This is what a lot of people do. It's just a whataboutism kind of silencing tactic. It's very
Whoa. If we're talking about all lives matter.
fucked. It's unacceptable. Yeah, pretty fucked. Anyway.
Okay. Any other comments for Lacta? No,
It's unacceptable. It's unacceptable. I hate it.
Well, I'll
I
say
hate
something.
it.
I always have something.
I like to it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. Ah.
Let me say lactoid. But lactoid, and I'll say this to Gen Z attorney as well. I hear what you're trying to say. Like, I do, right? That it's in the juxtaposition.
Also, by the way, whataboutism is beautiful. Okay, it's applicable in relevant circumstances. Okay,
Of these two moments where messages can be lost, no matter how you meant it, even if you meant it in the worst way or the best way, right? So I hear you. I think about the recent shootings that have happened. I think about how on the right, I don't know what Charlie Kirk's specific stance was on this, so I won't say because I just don't know. But like, for instance, the one with the trans shooting, right? What we've seen in this right-wing political punditry sphere, again, I don't know about Charlie Kirk specifically, what we've seen is people using that as an excuse to say, well, trans people are dangerous, right? Something must be done about these guys. They're violent, right? In that moment. When
you're gonna see at least several like fucking right-wing rhetoricians go out on the limb and say that the shooter behind Charlie Kirk was trans, okay? On God, okay? Before anything is even confirmed, before they're even caught, they're gonna say they're trans. It doesn't matter if they end up being trans, okay? They're just gonna say that this person was trans and just leave it as is. It's so cringe.
It seems like
you don't stream on Twitch, right? No. I hate Twitch.
Like it seems weird. It seems almost hypocritical. Not calling you a hypocrite, Lactoid, to be clear, right? It seems hypocritical to say that now in this moment, when Charlie Kirk, right, a known demagogue, when he like loses his life, right, and again that shouldn't happen. I do not celebrate it, and I condemn Destiny for saying that like we shouldn't be condemning it. But it seems hypocritical that in this moment, that saying that oh now we have to shut down this speech, right? This speech just of examining his record, right?
Although to be honest, I should also stream on Rumble because really, what's the harm in doing that, right?
Examining what he's done to the
Actually, I'm gonna see if I can set up my Rumble. Okay.
Political sphere. Hey, when does it become okay? Right? Like when did it become okay to discuss like gun restrictions after mass shooting? Republicans never told us, right? Well, when did it become okay to actually tackle these issues? So like how many days?
24 hours.
Okay, 24 hours.
24 hours.
Okay. So Lactoid, do you agree? Does it have to be a 24-hour wait and then I can talk about it, or should I be afraid that in the juxtaposition because I talk about him being assassinated, right, and then talk about his record, that someone somewhere might get the wrong impression? How long should I?
Well, the thing what you're explaining is like the thing that I tried to describe, which is like I it's going to depend on the person, and for me, because it's like a individual character kind of analysis, like I know what you meant by it. But like, let's say you didn't know me, Prime, and then let's say like it was the 60s and Martin Luther King just got shot, and I came out and started talking about how I thought he was a demagogue and his record was communist. Like, if it's a few hours after the shooting, there's going to be implications drawn, even if I am perfectly like salient and I.
Wait, why can't we talk about it immediately? Politics is the art of life and death, okay? Why can't we talk about it immediately? The entire point of politics is to seize power. Why would you not seize power immediately? I don't get it. We literally talk about October 7th immediately. We literally talk about the every single possible Republican happening immediately. Why not immediately? I'm just so confused. Does Foodshops debate? I do. But not that often, okay? I know my worth, okay?
I truly do condemn the shooting.
Lactoid is correct.
Lactoid, what if it was a month after the shooting and you said the same words?
I think that you give yourself, just like on a social basis, you give yourself more breathing room if you wait a little bit.
Why wouldn't I draw the same, if I'm looking at you, a white man in the 60s saying that, okay, right? Why wouldn't I think the same thing if it was a year after or a decade after?
I just think that immediately following this, emotions are going to be higher.
Well, that's why I'm asking you. Hey, what's the time limit?
Because I don't have. Okay,
look, so it
depends. There's no. Hold on, Prime. It depends how much you actually care about people misinterpreting you. If you don't care, then you could just right there in the middle after he was shot, you could have if you were there, you could have walked up and said, well, he is a fascist. But if you don't care about being misinterpreted, that's.
Yeah, we literally cheered while Hitler when Hitler died. Yeah,
that's your decision. I'm just saying that the reason why people sort of grimace, right,
ironically,
when you and other people say he's a fascist is because the implication is that violence is justified against fascists, right? Because
and I'm asking you,
the left have been saying violence is justified against fascists.
When is it not just? When is that implication now invalid?
There is no time.
Let's give it to.
So then we should never talk about it. Hold on. If there is no time limit, hold on. One second. I'm almost done.
Finish Prime. Hold on, just real quick. Finish Prime, and then I do want to get more people in on this conversation.
Absolutely. So Lactoid, right? If there is no time limit, then this reminds me again of the gun of the gun debate, right? Because Republicans never give us a timeline as to when we can discuss these things, right? Should it be a year after a massacre, right? Sandy Hook victims, they weren't cold at the time. Sandy Hook happened a decade ago, right? So we bring up the gun rights debate in this moment. Is that okay, right?
You're asking me to describe the technical basis for a social concept of reading the room, and I don't.
Well, it's Loki's wager, right? You either birth begins at conception or it begins at whatever. Well, I mean, it doesn't really matter. It's like the Loki's wager doesn't even matter. Okay, you just talk about it immediately. It's fine. Okay, I believe birth begins at conception, just like the birth of a controversy begins at conception. Okay, you're welcome.
This isn't even about reading the room.
Just real quick,
okay?
$20, read the room on my money. $20 from Time Watch to say, here's the other brain rot of all of this entire conversation. Why are we acting like the actions of this one guy are indicative of left-of-center sentiment as a whole? Smells like purposeful right-wing escalation. Okay, now we're going to give it to Deej. Go ahead.
It's the reaction.
I have an answer to
reaction.
that, and Prime is a perfect example of it. All right. So, first, I don't know how we got to this discussion about
Why does this guy sound like Nicholas Diorio? This guy sounds like God. This guy's like skinny Nicholas Diorio. Jesus.
when is it okay to start talking about solutions on how to prevent this from happening? Does anyone
Oh, I
on
brought
this
it up.
panel think that it would
That's how
be
it got there.
Can I ask where you got that tiny plushie? Yeah, the DG website. But like the thing is that they don't sell it anymore. So sorry.
uncouth of us to say, man, how could we make it so these types of events don't happen again? Has anyone said we can't talk about that within any certain amount of time since this has occurred? Nobody.
No.
Right.
We were talking about it in the very
Okay, so-
beginning, what we should do. So I agree with you.
So it's Prime, you're trying to conflate that with what you were doing when you came on, which is you came on and you weren't saying, well, so it's horrible that this happened to Charlie Kirk, and we
I wish people. Okay, I don't know about the Whitmer stuff. The Whitmer stuff, I just don't think is the perfect example either. Can we just talk about Paul Pelosi? Just someone talk about Paul Pelosi. Like I feel like the most important examples aren't being brought up right now. God, oh my God. I would worship Peaches if she brings up Paul Pelosi. Bring up Paul Pelosi, bring up Greta Thunberg, bring up any example, okay? Bring up any fucking example, all right? Because in every example, they're just making fun of Democrats dying all the time, okay? Jesus. Or like Democrats being attacked. Bring up Pizzagate, right? There's so many goddamn examples. It's insane.
need to discuss how to prevent this from happening further. What you came on and said was, it's horrible what happened to Charlie Kirk, but he is a fascist and he causes harm to other people. That's not the same thing as saying, how do we prevent this from happening in the future? To the super chat's point, sorry, can I read the super chat again? Because
You can read the super chat again. I'm not going to stop you.
Yes. So why are we acting like the actions of this one guy are indicative of left of center sentiment as a whole? Because of you, Prime. Because you come in and say, well, it's horrible. We shouldn't accept political violence. But he was a fascist.
Woohoo.
It's what I said.
Comes in and says, well, what do you expect? They're fascists.
This is kind of
So
the
when
point.
you look
Fleshy
at,
win,
sorry,
yeah.
I keep pausing and going.
I was trying to wait for the pause to be official, but yeah, apologize. Sorry, that was kind of the point I was trying to get at earlier. Is it's not the individual instance that is the reflection of the trend. It is the commentary and the reactions
sucks? Yeah, no
afterwards
kidding.
that are indicative of the trend. Like, yeah, it would be related to transgenders in sports, and it's like, okay, very small number compete in sports. But it's not.
What
it's not
side of the aisle is Prime on? Prime, what would you call yourself, or what would you describe yourself as far as political ideology goes? I actually don't know.
He's a liberal.
Progressive. No, I'm not fucking liberal. Fuck you. Progressive leftist. Yeah.
Okay, so
Ugh.
it's
I just
not
wanted to make clear he's
the
not a
same
liberal,
party
gang.
that- right.
He is
It's
not
the
a
same
liberal.
party that we were
Liberal.
talking about earlier. We were all agreeing that there are some people extreme on both sides, and that they're not indicative of the general overall messaging on the left or
But
right.
to push back directly on that, it's look at the prime or look at the figureheads of the progressive movement. And it's kind of like we talked about earlier. One's got a monopoly on an entire streaming platform and gets puff pieces in mainstream outlets and gets to campaign with mainstream candidates. So that's the left. That's the left side of it. But the right side, like my comparison earlier, maybe if y'all disagree, go ahead. But if we're talking about someone who's as far left as Hassan is, someone who's as far right as Hassan is far left, I feel like we're talking.
Invite this loser to the Discourse so we can bully him. They all join of their own accord eventually, okay? Our server is finally big enough and noticeable enough for people to join automatically.
Talking about the Nick Fuentes types, and he's been completely isolated off into his own bubble.
Yeah, MBTD is absolutely right. Why even have the fucking panel? For everyone to circle jerk about how bad it is? True. That's so true.
Corner of the internet.
Yep.
Because the
Yeah,
mainstream right has
president.
But at
completely
the same time,
disavowed
Hassan
it.
isn't as popular as yes, he's the number one person on Twitch. I agree with you when it comes to the general social media aspect. But once you leave Twitch, like there's not really a whole lot that he does politically as far as the United States politics is concerned. I wouldn't look
Nick
at
Fuentes
Hassan
had
the same
dinner
way I
with
would
the
look at as Charlie Kirk.
Nick Fuentes
Right,
had dinner with
right.
the president. Like, let's not pretend that he's some a completely marginalized individual on the right that they don't actually ever interact. Of course they do, right? What are you talking
Does
about?
Fox News
Of course he
do
does.
pieces on Nick Fuentes?
Sorry, who? I didn't hear. Could you repeat that? Please?
Like has Fox News done like a puff piece on Nick Fuentes about how he's the face of the the progressive youth men?
But wasn't
No,
it
you
like
can
GQ
Well, he's
and stuff
making
that were
working
doing
out
puff
cool
pieces on
among
Hassan?
liberals.
Like, what difference does it make? So, do you think that confers legitimacy, right, or
Yes,
denies the size of his
having puff
platform?
pieces by major news
Yeah,
outlets
okay.
that are
Well,
part of the
I disagree
Democratic
with you.
establishment
He is
does lend you
legitimate. Nick
legitimacy in
Fuentes
party.
Wasn't it GQ?
like
Am I wrong?
legitimate because of his connections, his actual power, his voice within that side. Even if I have no idea if anyone write a puff piece about him, but it doesn't matter. Did Fox News condemn Donald Trump for having dinner with Nick Fuentes? Right, I heard a lot of condemnation. I didn't hear any of that from the right. Was that the case? Did Fox News, that same
Nick
outlet, did they
Fuentes
do
only
that?
get in because Kanye was invited, and Kanye invited
I think
Nick.
so.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was
Yeah,
like literally
and
just a
then
plus one to Kanye.
and Nick
then they left him
Fuentes was
later.
allowed to stay. Nick Fuentes,
still got
sorry, go ahead.
No, he still got in. It doesn't matter how he got in. He got there and he had dinner with the president.
I'll be the first to say there was that time period after the 2020 election where Trump was just wilding out in many different ways. One of these ways was, as we're mentioning here, but my understanding, we can look and
The
see what his most
blankie?
recent commentary, what is the most recent thing Trump has said about Nick Fuentes, and I'm pretty positive it's not going to be how great of a guy he is, and evidenced by the fact, I mean, has he been to the White House? Has he had any involvement whatsoever with Trump
Did
since
Joe
that
Biden
dinner?
say that Hassan was this great guy? Did that happen ever? Or?
Yeah, to be clear, the DNC kicked out Hassan. Like the Democrat National Convention kicked Hassan out as well.
That's true.
So it's just
As far
some
as I
crazy
know.
comparison between Hassan and
Well, that's
Nick
because
Fuentes
Hassan
that-
spends his entire platform bashing the Democrats and saying don't vote for Democrats. Like,
I mean,
it's not.
yeah, but
Okay.
we
But to act like he's getting all of these puff pieces from like CNN and like all of these like huge like as like a like the mainstream media promotes him and holds him up on this pedestal, it just isn't the same. So that's just why Nick Fuentes was brought up. But yeah,
Who do you think leads policy discussion among Democrats versus Republicans more? Hassan with Democrats or Nick Fuentes with Republicans?
gosh, I don't
You
think
get
any of them,
indicative.
right? I don't think
You get
either of them really have
Yeah.
like neither. Can I pick
These
C
are
or
internet
D
people.
both?
Like,
I mean,
don't know.
so do the left not right now caught in a bind where the Democrats have to both appease the Hassan types to maintain that voting base as well as appease the mainline Democrats? I mean,
Example?
when Trump was elected, wasn't there literally like this issue because the Democrats were complaining about Hassan types not voting for them, and so they lost votes that maybe could have tipped the scales and made it so Trump won. But they didn't vote for Kamala because she didn't
What
give them
policy
everything that they
concessions
wanted on
have they made
Palestine.
to?
but how
Hassan
are they?
folks?
But how was the and how are the liberals bowing down and doing whatever they could to get the Hassan types in their crowd? If you're saying that they didn't vote for Democrats and so they didn't do
But-
enough time with them, so you're saying two
But
different
this is
things
the
in one
point.
sentence.
Why are you trying to make concessions to someone whose entire platform is going scorched earth against
I'm
your
not
entire
making
organization?
concessions.
No,
I'm
no,
saying
no,
that
Not you. I'm talking about
sorry.
the Democratic. Yeah, why would the Democratic Party or prominent figures be making concessions
They're not.
to?
They aren't.
That's my point. That's my point. They're not, because that's his entire
Yeah,
platform.
Deej seems to think that they are, and that somehow Hassan is more of an influence on the Democratic
Not
Party
the
than Nick Fuentes is on the
not the
Republican Party.
mainline DNC, but there are ancillary news organizations that are propping Hassan up because they think that he can convince Generation Z males to vote.
What, auxiliary, like New York Times? And the and a fucking national radio show? Is okay.
Joe Rogan of the left.
GQ?
Auxiliary.
How many times have we heard that
Big
term?
very
Joe Rogan of the
GQ?
left.
Media.
You know what we need? We need a TYT of the left. Okay, we need the Young Turks of the left.
True.
That's what we need. $10 from Per Thompson to say the quote unquote regular right is now completely illiberal, like Prime Kai, and will agree with anything their God Emperor says. Trump is ruling by fiat and is ignoring Congress.
Auxiliary? I don't
completely.
know.
Thank you.
So,
If I could-
Deej. So,
And $10 more.
Sorry,
I'm
sorry.
sorry. $10 more. Prime wishes he could do the same, forcing Medicare for all or whatever things he thinks is quote unquote right. Horseshoe theory come to reality. Thank you for the
Teach.
further $10.
And I'm
So
sorry,
I-
super quick. I'll be at this 10 seconds long and then ask you a question. I just looked up what was the general Republican response to Trump's dinner with Nick Fuentes, and it was Mitch McConnell denouncing it and Kevin McCarthy denouncing it, as well as pretty much every other Republican that was asked. So, just as a FYI, how much sweat.
Denouncing means nothing because they'll just vote for Trump again. Unless you're backing up that denouncement with action, unless you're like no longer voting for Trump again and you're no longer like advocating for Trump, I'm sorry, but it means nothing. This means nothing. All right, unless it is backed up with nuclear force, okay? If you can denounce Trump all you want, because again, this is the trap. Okay, this is the trap that people like anti-fans and like fucking conservatives and Republicans will try to rope you in, right? Because they'll say, "Oh, well, we denounced it. We we fucking went against it, right? And somehow, for some reason, okay, verbally, right? But it doesn't really mean anything if you don't have the action to back it up, right? It just doesn't. It just doesn't have any real strength or oomph behind it if you don't like have the strength to properly like back up your actions, right? Like it's really that simple. It's not that hard. Yeah. Cool.
By an influence Nick Fuentes might have with the Republicans.
No one said he had a
Indeed.
crazy
yeah,
amount of
that's
influence.
just-
But the comparisons was to Hassan, and Hassan has more. So
It was brought up as Nick Fuentes literally had dinner with the president.
he did.
So
like,
that's
Well,
how we got on the topic.
because we're talking about mainstream media doing puff pieces on Hassan, like he's someone that the mainstream media is like propping up as the voice of the people.
I guess call me when Nick Fuentes is streaming Among Us with Mike Johnson.
Deej. So
he had dinner with
I'll
the president. That was not more than having Among Us with AOC. What the?
The president has dinner with a lot of people, and it doesn't necessarily signify
True.
political alignment.
Plus, I just read out
A
the
lot
Senate
of
leader
people,
and the House
all of
leader
us.
both.
Wait, what the fuck? Dude, that's such a crazy... Dude, I feel like these people would never say that. These people would never say that for any Democrat ever. Really? So if Joe Biden appears with Destiny, that wouldn't reflect badly on Joe Biden's character for the Destiny haters? What a crazy thing to even say. What's this? Oh, yeah.
Well, how? What's up? I'm streaming, by the way.
This is. Did you see what happened?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, like, dude, Charlie's gonna be fucking dead.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's already dead. Yeah.
Dude, we're fucked. We are so fucked.
By we, you mean we as a country right now, the United States and the current.
Like that, the party, but like mostly
Also,
like.
yes,
like,
wait.
Probably
I think that we're super fucked. I agree. Hold on, wait. I'll text you on Discord. I don't understand that Craig is gonna ruin our shit.
On both Z's website and Reddit account, her organization's stated goals were taking the fight directly to Charlie Kirk by following him around on college campuses.
Well, what's up? I'm streaming, by the way.
Wait, is there trying to imply... Wait, what the fuck? Are they, like... Sorry, this has to be edited by Royal Kitten House as well. Like, is this implying that Z is, like, on purpose trying to instigate, like, physical violence against Charlie Kirk? What a fucking unhinged edit. Holy fuck. And it's so dishonest. They don't actually believe this. They don't actually believe it. They don't actually believe this. They don't actually believe this. Oh my god. Okay, dude. Cool.
Explicitly condemn that dinner. So if you want to talk about the Republican Party,
Just by the way, the clip contradicts itself, if you're wondering, okay? The clip contradicts itself. The reason why it contradicts itself is because it sounds like Z is unhappy about Charlie Kirk dying. Z is unhappy about Charlie Kirk dying. Taking the fight to Charlie Kirk isn't like... What? Like, her thing is fucked if Charlie Kirk dies. Yeah, that's the entire point. Because you need him alive to actually debate him, right? Obviously. So, again, what a fucking unhinged thing. It contradicts itself already. It's so stupid.
Hey,
It's
Deej.
I
And also
explicitly
what's happened
condemn
since then.
Hassan.
Oh my
Right?
God, he said like
Yeah,
10
we're
seconds.
condemning Hassan too.
Yeah.
We're not pretending living in fairyland like it doesn't matter.
Sorry, these anti-fans drive me nuts, okay? Justifiably. All right, may I add?
Who the president has dinner with. That's just dumb.
Deej. So
No, it's implied that she's more concerned about her organization than Kirk dying. Wrong. Then what was the point about taking the fight to Charlie Kirk? Then what's the point of including that part? What was the point of including the part where she's taking the fight to Charlie Kirk after he dies? Right? Careful. Do not give these people any kind of don't give these people any kind of good faith. Don't. You shouldn't. Don't do it. Because they will not give any for you, okay? They will not give any for you. All right? Because it sounds like the anti-fans are trying to blame Destiny and Z for the death. It's insane. It's unhinged.
I will agree on one point. You said when I came in, I didn't necessarily give a remedy, right, for the issue at hand. And that would have, at the very least, added to how useful the discussion is. And I would agree with you there. Right? I'll absolutely give you that.
Well, hold on, no. The problem wasn't that you didn't provide a remedy, right?
Well,
Like,
you
if you
put
had
that
said
before.
everything you did, but then provided a remedy, it still would have been just as bad in the minds of the
Oh, okay, so
people
then we could
who
have
feel
ignored your
like-
previous comments. No problem then. All right, then I'll ignore those previous comments. And in which way? But the remedy that I would provide would be the exact remedy that if this had been someone else who had been assassinated, right? And Charlie Kirk was commenting on it.
I'm in the weight room? What? Who the fuck are you? You look like the most ominous looking motherfucker ever. Hello? Who are you? Don't say the N-word. Don't say the N-word the hard R. Don't play anything loud. Don't play anything loud.
How's it going?
Wait, what? Why are you in the weight room? What's up? You're in front of 350 people. Go.
I have watched your streams for a while now.
Oh, yeah.
And
Sorry.
my Senpai Destiny isn't on. So you're the next best thing. So I just have a question about I just tuned in, so I don't really know where you are on the Charlie Kirk stuff.
Wait, what? Just don't. You don't.
What's up?
You don't have to like if you don't have a topic, then you can just like rewind the stream and watch it. Like you don't have to call in, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're fine. Like just rewind the stream. It's fine, and then you'll get a good idea of who I am. Yeah.
I know. Well, I've watched your stream for a while now. I just don't know, because I have some opinions on this Charlie Kirk thing, but I don't think.
Okay, who asked? Listen.
You did.
I'm glad that everyone has a great opinion on Charlie Kirk. Okay, I'm so happy. I'm happy that you have an opinion on Charlie Kirk, but everyone has an opinion on Charlie Kirk. Okay. Yeah. Is there anything else?
Yes.
Okay. Cool.
It'd be the remedy that he would shut
I disconnected him
down because he didn't want to discuss that. It was his job as a propagandist to end those conversations. So my remedy would be, gun control. We want more gun control in this nation, right? There are disturbed individuals who have access to weapons, right? They took a shot at Trump. I condemn taking a shot at Trump just as much, right? I'd also talk about how awful Trump is, right? Fascist. But I would say that we don't want these individuals to easily get their hands on those guns. I don't want mass shootings to be happening. I want, like in the wake of the lady who got stabbed, unfortunately. I don't want disturbed individuals walking around our streets instead of demagoguing against how homeless people are dangerous or whatever. Right? I'd say we should have mental health care in this country. Reagan closed our healthcare facilities way back when, and now instead those people are just put out in the streets without any help. Right? All the things that Charlie Kirk was against, I would apply to the situation so that there's no more Charlie Kirks in the future.
I'm glad you bring that up, Prime, because
Sure.
I actually wanted to make a comment on something that you had said, which was a false equivalency.
Oh my god, it is Nicholas Diorio.
Yes, Charlie Kirk has said when these things happen, essentially, no, gun control is not the solution. You know, he has also said that we can't talk about like gun control or how to prevent this while the bodies are still warm or whatever, right? He has said that. Has he ever said, well, those school kids were fascists?
I believe, and I don't have an encyclopedic understanding of all the things Charlie Kirk said. So if I'm wrong,
Why not?
I do apologize.
Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, why not? I don't listen to the words of Charlie Kirk. But I believe he's attacked the ones from, it wasn't Sandy Hook, the Florida high school. There's so many fucking mass shootings. The Florida high school one that happened a few years ago. Like David Hogg was from that one.
Parkland.
Kirkland. Was it Kirkland?
Parkland.
Parkland.
Nick,
Yes, thank you.
Nick Wright Kraut, and what was his? I don't remember, but yeah.
Yeah.
You talk about the snarkers targeting fucking ZRD. That shit pissed me off. Yeah, they want them dead. Like the snarkers want Destiny and Z dead. Yeah.
I believe he attacked the Parkland kids who were advocating for gun reform.
But you know that stuff is not new. Okay, they've wanted them dead for a long time now.
In that moment, right? So that's my understanding. Again, if I'm wrong, I do apologize.
I mean, like if we're talking about, you know, like after the event occurs a year later and there are kids that are doing political advocacy and
they were attacked soon afterwards. Lots of them were doing political advocacy a lot sooner than that. People very soon after, like kids were speaking out. That's how they got famous. In that moment, the country was watching.
Oh, it's Zip Zip.
Watching them. That's when they started political activism. They didn't wait.
Is there an equivalent where Charlie Kirk was saying it's horrible that those kids got shot? You know, we should denounce political violence in this country. But have you listened to those kids' rhetoric? They said dangerous things. They're dangerous people.
he attacked them for their political beliefs when they were
Okay,
advocating
he
for their
attacked
dead
some political
individuals. I'm sorry, it
disagreements.
wasn't an equivalent situation that like this like matches exactly what happened at that point in time, right? Like so, like we can't draw all those parallels. I'm saying that in that moment, you're asking how has he reacted in the past. My understanding, again, if I'm wrong, I do apologize. My understanding is that in that moment he did attack these people because they were calling for a gun reform. Again, I apologize if I'm wrong.
But then
he's attacking
the
political
inverse is
message.
yeah. But then the same point that Prime you came in here to make, which was yes, we condemn violence. It's bad that he was killed, but we need to be able to have a conversation about who he was as a person. The inverse has to apply then to it's bad that these kids were killed, and now some of them are speaking out. But let's have a conversation. Let's talk about why their policy suggestions are stupid, because now they're stepping into the political debate arena. They don't just get infinite immunity because they were part of a tragedy like that. There has to like the same way you came in saying there has to be the ability to have discussion.
You can actually respond to political like if in that moment, in that same moment, right? And this obviously didn't happen, so this is fantasy, right? In that same moment, if one of the parents came out and we found out like the shooter was trans, right, and said that in that moment, you know, like crying over her dead child, like actually killed child, that like trans people are dangerous, right? No, in that moment, yeah, I can condemn that rhetoric, even if their child was killed. Like say, hey, that can be destructive. So no, I'm saying yes, we don't give political immunity. That we should discuss these things in the moment. That's my only point.
Prime, would
Yeah,
you
but you're
be okay
condemning
with me
Charlie Kirk
saying, like,
apparently for doing that.
No,
say,
he asked me to give me an example, and I gave him an example.
No, hold on. Is there like an example of like a school shooting where a trans student is like brutally murdered by somebody, and they get away? We don't know who murdered them. We don't know the motive, but a trans kid was brutally murdered. Do you think it would be okay to say, well, obviously political violence is bad. It's tragic that trans kid died, but transism in America is dangerous. The ideology that kid represents is dangerous.
Hold on, I got an example of this. They weren't killed, but they killed themselves. They jumped off a bridge. They made a post about it before they did it, right? And
that is such a fucking fantastic example. I'm so glad this is eventually brought up. So they're talking about this trans kid who committed suicide. Sewer slide, when they were 17, okay? So when they were 17, they committed suicide, and on Twitter, all right? This person was not cringe. This person was not somehow lefty. This person was not somehow commie. And do you know what happened? All the fucking right-wingers and all the fucking conservatives were trying to, like, celebrate the death of this kid. It was unhinged. But yeah, it was fucking insane. So yeah, no, you can't just cry about it now, you know? It's crazy. You can't cry about it now. That's it. That's such a great example as well. Fuck. There's so many examples. They're so guilty. Anyway.
A lot of people said a lot of bullshit. And a lot of the people who were talking about it say, obviously I condemn their bullshit, but we do have to talk about how trans ideology is affecting the youth and things like that. So that absolutely has happened on the right. That is something they've done over and over again.
But
we heard Fox News talk about
trans
shooters in the 30-second clip we saw.
That's
today.
So, but it's similar, but not quite the same with the suicide, because the
hold
discussion
on.
was around how transgender individuals have an extremely high suicide rate, and we should try to not promote that. It wasn't.
It was
well,
in response
this
to people
kid might
saying,
have-
do a backflip. That was in response to people saying, do a backflip to that point.
But also, too, are we talking about these are serious political commentators that are memeing and joking on that? Or are we talking about just the Twitter verse?
Yes, it is serious political commentators that is memeing on the 17-year-old dying. Yes. Yes. Yes.
Okay, the Twitterverse informs these things, right? The biggest lie we tell on both sides.
Well, hold on, Wick. Don't grant them this. Do not grant them this. It was actually, there were political commentators, okay, who have an audience that were celebrating this. Yes, they were.
That's just some rando on Twitter. These are a groundswell of people, right? It's not just one, it's not just two, it's not just 10. It's hundreds and thousands of them, right, that are doing this. And yes, it is big main.
Which ones? Just check the fucking quote tweets of like, oh, it's a nice view. Just check it. Just check the quote tweets and then sort by top.
Extreme Republican, or right-leaning at least, influencers, pundits, etc., who make these types of excuses for this terrible behavior, where they will say, obviously I condemn this, it's not okay they do it, right? But we do have to have a talk about how trans ideology is hurting our children.
Or if we want an even better one-to-one,
that still isn't the same thing as them specifically
else.
saying this person deserved.
It
Or-
is enough in
It's terrible
kind
that they killed
to make
themselves,
is
but-
that you're making distinctions without differences here.
I think that there is a difference because you're not saying that the actions someone took to harm another person are directly are a expected response to the rhetoric that that person says.
Can somebody find me the original tweet by the person who committed suicide that was trans?
And because too, with the suicide example, it's a completely contained example of a self-inflicted outcome. Basically, what we're talking about here with Charlie Kirk is this is not something he did to himself, but people are trying to say basically that he did do it to himself because of his rhetoric, because of being a fascist, being a Zionist, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, I
So-
want to
so-
get
so
the
it's
I wanna-
entirely analogous. How about something like Jan 6, where the excuses are, oh well, yeah, it's bad, but what do they expect? They stole the election. Is that
Nobody's
that's more
defending
analogous? Isn't
January
it?
Yeah, you're not going to find anyone here saying that.
Okay, but that's still the Republican generally. That's the Republican ideas about around Jan
I found
6.
Even then, I don't know.
Who was murdered?
No?
Premeditation, January 6th.
Tally came up.
This
if you
is
have
the
it.
problem here. Well, I mean,
Oh yeah, I
he
forgot you're
was
Republican.
yeah, okay. I'm literally not a Republican, but I think Charlie Kirk was clearly a good man, and this is a horrible, horrible tragedy.
Oh my god, Tally! No.
Despicable act of violence.
Oh no, we have Food Shopper versus Food Shopper. It's fucking over, dude. It's Food Shopper versus Food Shopper.
That no one should be celebrating. And yes, we can also acknowledge that it is disgusting when people rush to politicize other tragedies.
Oh, cool. Here's Joshua Moon. By the way, if you disagree with him being a commentator, you're wrong, okay? He is in every single way a commentator with an audience, okay? This is Joshua Moon, basically celebrating the death of this person, okay? To make my position absolutely clear, I have personally dealt with these people for 10 years, feel nothing at all for them. They want me broke, in jail, and dead for crimes of writing. The existence of a person whose identity forces me to lie is repugnant to my morals. So yeah, again, all right. That's the owner of Kiwi Farms. So there you go.
There is something different.
He got 21,000. He got 21,000 likes on that. Okay, so it's just not like nobody.
Between someone taking their life and talking about mental illness or talking about gun control and someone planning a premeditated murder against someone on the basis of their political beliefs. There's no reason to rationalize this. This is
What's the matter with Shopper versus Shopper? It's like because you have Tally and you have Peaches who are on opposite sides of this. But to be honest, like we all disagree with Tally. Like we literally, like she's the odd one out in a way. She's the odd one out. Yeah.
Died because of their injuries
horrible.
from Gen 6, right?
Okay, were they specifically targeted and murdered in cold blood?
Yeah,
because
they
of their
said in
political
January
ideology?
6th. And
they were
the January
attacked
6th
because they were
writers
trying
were
to
like,
stop
hey,
people from going
kill
in.
the cops, attack the cops. We have video of them literally saying,
Dude, why doesn't why the fuck doesn't Twitter have like quote tweets like sorted by top? It's so cringe. Fuck.
attack and kill the cops.
Does this does this make you feel better? Like I'm just wondering what bringing up that was tragic too. That's horrible.
You just
It's
got here.
terrible.
We were having a
Don't move past that. I'm done with past that.
analogy.
Like you
They
specifically
weren't
said it didn't happen.
They were not specifically
They
targeted.
specifically talked about
and
targeting the
murdered
cops. They were
in
right
cold
there.
blood on
Attack
the
the
basis
cops.
of their political beliefs.
Because they were.
Oh no. Okay. Oh, now we have to put
from
on the basis of the political belief. So add another. Move the goalposts
Of
again,
course,
right?
yes,
Add
of course,
another
that's what
requirement.
matters when we're talking
Can I
about
ask
political
why?
violence. Yes.
Just
No,
look,
hold on.
why?
First, ask for premeditated murder. I told you, hey, the people in the class
cameras.
specifically
Premeditated
called
murder,
for
Prime.
the death of the
I'm
cops,
not sure if you know
right?
what premeditated.
That's
I
the
would-
death of the one. When you say let's kill the cops and then the cops end up dead, would that be premeditated or not? Right? When I say, hey, we decided to kill the cops and the cops end up dead, is that the definition? Maybe I'm missing it. Try me.
Okay,
You don't need a lot
cameras.
of time for it to be premeditated.
We
but-
want
That's how it
cameras,
works.
gang. You from Prime. Prime, you should know this. Cameras help the algorithm. Tally,
My
camera.
nipples.
Put a shirt on, motherfucker. Okay?
I'm up right now.
And if
You
I
put a
may
shirt
just
on too,
quickly,
Tally. right? Yeah,
while we're
yes.
figuring out our cameras here,
Okay, never mind. I can't find anything at the moment, but yeah. Is the guy a right winger or a conservative? Dude, everyone on Kiwi Farms is probably like far right wing. Like generally speaking, everyone on there is far right wing. Joshua Moon himself is probably like the farthest right wing that you can be without calling yourself a neo-Nazi. Yeah.
I just did a quick, consulted the good old ChatGPT.
But you know what I'm thankful for? I'm thankful that Joshua Moon is mask off, okay? I'm glad he's honest about his feelings at the very least. Thank God.
how many Republicans support January 6th. Economist YouGov poll March 2023 said 27% strongly or somewhat approved of Capitol rioters' action. So you're talking about 3/4
How many
who
voted for Donald Trump?
I don't have to
Wait,
second guess his
Gen Z attorney, did you vote
his
for
fucking
Trump?
takes.
I did, yeah.
Do you support Gen 6?
No, of course not.
Wait, why'd you vote for Trump?
So we can have this debate. I think it would.
It's like so fucking irrelevant.
Yeah, I
Well,
mean,
you would think so.
no, my
I mean, it
only
literally
point
is
is
irrelevant.
Why didn't you
I'm
vote
happy to go
for
down the
Mass?
path. It's just going to
Well,
take
because
half
it,
a
it
pie.
seemed to
quite
me
a.
that Gen Z attorney disavowed a lot of political violence. However, he voted for the guy who supported Gen 6 and pardoned everybody involved and said he was going to do so. So it seems like you don't really condemn all that much political violence.
Like I said,
Yeah,
I
I'm-
mean, happy to
You
go
think the
down.
election was stolen in 2020 or no?
No.
Okay, based.
You
I
voted
need
for the
That's
guy
why.
who
That's
said
why I
he
condemn January
still
6th.
says that.
What?
I need to
Why did you vote for the guy who says that and still thinks it and pardoned everybody because of it?
All I'm going to say is we can go down and have this debate if y'all want. I think it's going to take us quite far away from where this whole panel
I
is
think it's pretty
organized for.
on topic.
The man's
because it's about
head
condemning
was
political
almost
violence.
blown off
And
in front of an audience of young people and his wife.
yeah,
This is I actually
really
can't
bad.
understand anyone's
You know what else
impulse
is
to
bad?
say anything.
Killing
this is
cops
actually-
and breaking into a government.
But you voted for Trump based off of vibes, and he probably caused the deaths of millions of people. Like, what are you talking about? Tally. Millions of people are gonna die because if you just say ID cuts. Like, I'm sorry, it's just not. It's not equivalent ground.
Government building.
Also, not only that, like, what? Like, you just don't feel bad for it, I guess, because they're not being filmed. Just by the way, like, what, you want, like, a fucking film reel of every single person who dies due to, like, lack of USAID? They're fucking wretched choking gasps of air as they're dying from the lack of, like, care? From the lack of USAID? Really? I feel like the only thing that we're, like, that we care for are everything that's captured on camera. But as long as everything is not captured on camera, we just don't feel bad for them, I guess. It's just so insane to me. It's just so unhinged. But yeah, okay.
In front of the entire world.
But this is also so perfectly encapsulating
it.
what I led off my entire entry into this conversation with, which, by the way, thank you, Wick, for having me, was the frustration that's had that anytime something like this happens like today, and we want to have a serious discussion about how we got to this point and what we can do moving forward, it seems it's immediately, we get the lip service of, yes, today was bad, but you condemn January 6th. Like,
Well, to be fair, I feel like
it matters if there's a lot of
Yeah, that's fucking relevant, bitch. Dude, who the fuck are you? Jesus Christ, look at you, living your fucking suburban ass, upper middle class home. Jesus Christ. You have the luxury of saying something like this. Others do not.
political
point, though,
tension.
to be
It
honest.
matters if there's a lot of political tensions that are being created by a particular side, and then there's more political
Both
tension and
sides,
more political
both
violence.
sides are feeding horrible political
wait,
tension.
which
Also,
side do you
it's
think
okay
feeds
to
it
be
more? Which
horrified
side do
by
you think feeds
both
it
of
more?
these
What side
things.
feeds it more?
I cried on I would say the left.
Tally, which side
I
feeds it
cried
more?
on
The
January
left?
6th and I cried today.
Oh my god, I don't care when you cry, okay? I'm sorry. I literally cannot give more of a fuck about that. I'm sorry, I just can't. I just can't. I just can't do it. I can't do it, okay? I do not give a flying fuck about when you cry, okay? You cried on January 6th. Good for you, okay? Let out some tears, okay? That's just great, okay?
Watching the murder of Charlie Kirk. These are all horrible things that should shock all of our consciences.
It
we
does.
should
We're
all
talking about what do we
condemn
do
in the
about it?
loudest
What do we do
possible
about it?
terms.
What do we
fucking
do about it?
condemn it? We can
Oh my god, the most powerful forces in the world are fighting right now. White woman versus white woman. Who's gonna win, guys?
Yeah,
condemn
it's
it.
been doing
It's
that.
condemned.
We cut down on the
It's been
stochastic
condemned, and now we
terrorism
talk
of
about
the
what do we
influencers
do?
on both
What
sides
do we
of the
do
island.
moving forward? And we
Sorry.
look at both sides.
I mean, it's
and
not
look
even
how
being
both
condemned on
sides.
this panel.
The only thing that can defeat another white woman is another white woman.
We look at it has been condemned on this panel. Where the fuck have you been
By-
for the
by
past 2
everyone.
hours?
By everyone, as far as I know.
I don't
by
accept
everyone.
this
When you
Yeah.
in one breath, if you in one breath say this is bad, and in your very next breath do everything you can to justify it, that's not a condemnation.
Yeah,
Who's
so-
been justifying it?
Simple-
We're
simple
justifying
time.
it.
That's
Shit.
100%.
Okay, one at a
Simple
time.
test.
One at a time, kings and queens. Okay, give it to
Simple
baby.
test
Let's
here.
let's give it to Peach first. She hasn't been talking in a while.
Okay,
Peach,
yeah,
finish your thought, and then we'll give it to the rest. Peach.
Well, no, I guess my whole thing is it's frustrating because it's not because like yes, I mean everybody here is saying that it was bad with Charlie.
What? Hello?
Yo,
What,
can you hear
what's
me?
up? What? Hi. Hello. Yeah, what's up?
Yeah, I just had a couple really quick points I wanted to make about this because this was driving me
Okay.
absolutely fucking crazy.
All right.
So the first thing is that we don't know anything about who the shooter is or why they did this. Everyone's talking about it like they automatically know that it was some leftist or some liberal or whatever. We have no idea. It could have been some extremist dentist who didn't like Charlie Kirk's creepy smile. We have no fucking idea. The second thing is that we can have two thoughts in our head at once. We can say that you know, extrajudicial killings are bad, assassinations are bad, and that
Well, yeah.
everyone, if
Well,
everyone,
I've said all of this on stream.
yeah, well,
Yeah.
the other thing is that just generally, Trump voters don't get to be fucking outraged about this. I mean, you were making the point about USAID, which I think is an excellent one, but this goes back even further than that. During this guy's first campaign, he was telling people to attack protesters because he would pay for their legal bills, knock the crap out of them, he would say. So the idea that
Oh,
someone
did
like
you
Tolly,
actually?
who
Can
voted,
can you find me? Can you find me like a clip of that when you said that? Jesus Christ, that's insane.
oh, absolutely. Yeah, no, that
Okay,
was
thank you.
definitely a thing that he said. And yeah, the other thing is there won't be a civil war over this. The country's been through way worse shit. 1968 alone had the assassinations of RFK, MLK, the Tet Offensive, the highest number of Vietnam draftees in the war at that point, unrest over civil rights, all kinds of crazy shit. And obviously all bad, but our country's been through worse and it'll get through it. So I'm just over the fucking pearl clutching, especially from Trump voters. So that's all I had to say. I just had to get that off my chest. Sorry for
Okay.
taking
Okay.
time.
All right. Okay. All right. Thanks. All right.
That's all.
Bye.
Have a
All
good
right.
one,
See ya.
y'all. Bye.
Yeah. Bye. Okay. All right. If anyone calls in, it has to be short and nifty. Short and nifty. Short and nifty. Everyone wants to give their take on it. Okay. Just listen. Okay. Jesus. Yeah. But thank you. Thanks for calling in, though. Hey, 400 people watching. Guys, please. Okay. Hit the like button. Go to my YouTube. Subscribe. All right. Thank you. Also, like, there's only 68 likes on my YouTube. Let's bump that up. At least 100 tonight, okay? Also, you can donate, super chat, membership, anything. Go to discord.gg/Foodshops, okay? But yeah, based.
Kirk. I'm not even going to say, oh, but. There is no but, okay? Because it's bad. We're at the point now where we're talking about what is it that we do moving forward. And I think that it's important to look at both sides because both sides have had their own, I guess, ways of dealing with violence and condemning violence in the past. And when you look at the way that the right has condemned violence versus the left, I feel like in recent history, there is a pattern with the right when you look at Trump, the leader, the president of the United States, and the way that he has handled violence coming from the right. I think it's very important to recognize and to point out. And as long as we're all on the same page with just, yes, all violence is bad and we can look at both sides, and so can we move forward in that way, a lot of the time, the right isn't willing to condemn the violence as much as on the left. I don't know about you personally, Tali, I don't know. But that's just where the conversation has been for the past 2 hours. And to say that none of us have been condemning what happened today is
I
just
didn't
crazy.
say none of you. You're adding words. I was responding to
I'm sorry.
the
Are
gentleman
you?
that I was speaking to.
I have a question.
Okay, is that all you have to say?
Do we
Yes.
consider this panel to be somewhat representative of the political compass?
I think it's a pretty good spread, yeah.
We got people on the left, we got people on the right.
I don't know. Is anyone even like how far right is anyone on this panel? We probably don't have a very good. I mean, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah,
what
I don't.
Not
I
right.
don't seem far.
I mean,
right,
we had
honestly.
like, you want me to bring on a far right schizo? I can.
No. I was gonna say, so on the right, we haven't had any representation when it comes to talking about, do you condemn January 6th? Do you condemn any of these other like right-wing violence events? We've equivocally said no. We don't, or sorry, we do condemn, right? We condemn it. There's no but, there's no
Okay,
if,
but
there's no,
just
well, they were
condemning isn't
saying
enough, right?
We do have an exact example of what I know people on the right feel whenever something happens that targets the right, which is they hear people like Prime come in and say, we condemn violence, but he was a fascist. That language is what causes right people to feel radicalized. Part of the reason
and
why
when it
that
happens on
super
the
chat
left,
that was
you have
talking about their
lawmakers
mom,
and the
it's making
president.
group chats about we're going to, we're going to activate essentially, is because they view that there is a sizable portion of Democrats and the left to say it's justified when their political figures are murdered in cold blood by saying they were fascists. And they think, whether you think he is or not, they think Charlie Kirk is a moderate. So if they are justifying killing him, they are justifying killing you. That's how they feel. You can say they're wrong, but that's how they feel.
Yeah, and then when it happens on the left and people on the left are killed, like the senators a few months ago, you have people like U.S. Senator Mike Lee going on Twitter and blaming it on Tim Walz, and Trump refusing to make even a phone call to Tim Walz, calling him like a weak guy or something.
That's the
yeah, it's not the same. It's not the same thing.
that's
Yeah,
the
when it happens on the right, they get mad because
That's
people on
not
Twitter
the
think,
same.
oh, they
That's
called us
not the same.
fascists.
That's
When it
not
happens
the
on the
same
left,
as saying,
you have
well, the people that
lawmakers,
were killed were
people in
fascists,
government.
It's not the same as
What's going to
crime.
happen?
It's not the same as crime. It's President
Frank
Trump
Kai
and
is not
other
President
lawmakers.
Trump and U.S. Senator Mike Lee, right? It's not the same thing. It's
Do
like
you know
some
that you
group
don't
chat
have to
when
do
it's
it
U.S.
back?
senators.
Did you know, like, you can just, like, we can just condemn this and we can just mourn this horrible attack? Like,
No. What? That's insane.
it's actually not required
No,
to
you
jump
can't.
in
No,
and
no, no.
say,
You
okay,
can't
the
actually
other
just
side
condemn
of
it.
the
You cannot
political
just
aisle.
condemn it. It's not possible
No.
to just condemn it. You have to actually do something to make it change. So you can't just
Okay,
say,
do
I
we-
Wait, who is talking? Is that Zip Zip? Oh.
condemn
something
it
to
and
make
move
a
on.
change is not saying the other side of the political aisle is so bad.
It's also not
They
saying
will
whatever
It does.
happens.
It is
Similar
when they
things
are
happen.
that bad.
No,
When they
that's-
are
how
that
is that
bad, that is
productive?
actually a good thing to do. It is a good thing to point it out when the other side is actually that bad. And you haven't been able to contest the actual point that I'm making, which is that when it happens on the left, it's U.S. lawmakers. On the right, it's President Trump and U.S. senators
Okay,
and
they
other
made
people.
jokes. Did they ever say they like this person
Can somebody please bring up Paul Pelosi now? I feel like I waited all stream for a mention of Paul Pelosi.
is a communist? So
Jokes?
what do you
Well,
expect is going to happen?
also,
Jokes?
I've got the quote as far as what in
Nightmare on
response
Wall
to the
Street?
Minnesota, as far as Trump's direct response to the Minnesota lawmakers getting killed was, quote, such horrific violence will not be tolerated in the United States of America. It is true. He did not reach out to Tim Walz, and he used words like slick, whacked out, and a mess. But I think those things can coexist,
bad,
where he
right?
can simultaneously have sympathy and condemn violence against the individuals, and
And
also
then do nothing. Yeah, and,
also
then do nothing. Yeah, he can do the same thing that you do and condemn the violence and then not do anything about it. Yeah, it is possible for Trump to do that.
Okay, so what's
Meanwhile,
Trump's
people in his own party, lawmakers, are
Minnesota?
calling it Nightmare on Wall Street, blaming it on Tim Walz. Yeah.
Did they say they're a communist? What do you expect?
Exactly.
You
Hold
want a
on,
one-to-one?
hold on, just Deej
You
and
don't think it's
Tali.
bad?
Hold on, just real quick. Deej and Tali, you understand how them blaming a specific person is worse, right?
Sorry, real quick.
So if you see somebody getting ready to throw a tomato, knock the crap out of them, would you? Seriously. Okay? Just knock the hell.
A martini, shaken, not stirred.
It's just going to be used by the Trump admin to continue their ideology.
Stumbling, thank you so much for $5. Drew.
I promise you, I will pay for the legal fees. I promise.
Jesus. Okay.
That Mike Lee blaming Tim Walz and holding him responsible for the death of those senators when Tim Walz had nothing to do with it is worse than someone saying, well, what do you expect? He's a communist. That's worse.
No,
People-
in the minds of the people who are concerned about being radicalized, it is not worse. Because what is happening, right, is you have
also
someone who's
bad.
killed
Listen, debate review, Charlie Kirk lost, okay?
for their political beliefs, and you consider those political beliefs to represent you, and when you go
What's the point of that clip? Well, it sounds like Trump was encouraging violence. So, like, violence happens, and Trump was encouraging it. When you have the president of the United States encouraging violence, and violence happens, yeah, I don't know. I just don't feel as bad, I guess.
onto a panel like this, you hear Prime say,
Thank you, Razzle.
well, it's obviously we condemn violence, but he was a fascist. In
Look,
my
I already
mind-
called Prime out. I think what he did was
I
also
understand,
not
but
okay.
The thing is that the other folks on here are doing whataboutisms of, well, Tim Walz made a joke and blamed so and so, but where on the right are
What
they
you're trying to say
saying
is that people on
the
the right are
people that were
crybabies.
murdered,
Is that what you're
they
trying
were
to say?
communists, so they had it coming.
Are you trying to say that people on the right are just
Wait,
crybabies?
Don't you
and
don't
they
you
think
see
that
how
they're
it's a little bit
targets?
different? Don't you see what's a little bit different if there's a tragedy like this and someone tries to blame their
No.
political enemy and blame the rhetoric of their political
No. No. Politics is the art of death and life. I'll say as many times as it takes to drill in that point. Politics has never been about marshmallows and fucking having nice, like, fucking chocolate s'mores. All right? Politics has always been brutal. It has always been violent. It has always been devastating. Every single American vote contributes to the deaths of so many people, depending on what policy you advocate for. Depending on what politician you advocate for, every single action, you just don't see it. You just don't see it. You don't see how votes from Americans are downstream, eventually down to like the worst of the worst shit. And again, all right, the double standards is pretty menacing. It's pretty insane. All right, pretty hypocritical. So yeah, that's it.
Enemy or blame the policies of their political enemy, how that's different from demonizing the victim of the attack because they were actually a really bad person
Yeah,
who might have had it
hold on.
coming.
In one
I'm gonna
case,
say-
you're making it more dangerous for, like, both are bad. I want to be clear about that. Both are horrible, horrible things to do. You should not do either one of these things. But one is targeting and putting a bullseye on people who are still alive.
I'm going to actually
that's bad.
disagree. If Gavin Newsom came out and said that Charlie Kirk's death is on Governor Cox, I actually would have no problem with that.
Cox.
I don't think
You have an
that is
issue with
as,
that?
no, I don't think that is as escalatory
Hold on.
as saying, well, Charlie Kirk was
This
a
is
fascist.
dishonesty at work.
No, that's not dishonesty. That's the mind of the conservatives in this country. I honestly don't know. If you can't see that saying, well, the governor of the state where this happened is responsible for this tragic event happening, in the minds of conservatives isn't less, or is, if you think that's more escalatory than saying, well, Charlie Kirk was a fascist, you're living in a completely different world. Okay, conservatives view the latter way worse.
Yeah,
Because it's about
they,
them.
They view it that way because they're crybabies.
When the two Israeli embassy workers were killed, it was very bad that there were people saying, you know, the blood of these people is on people like Hassan Piker and the people who rile up extremism against them. It is worse to say, well, you know, these people were Zionists, you know, they supported supremacy over other people, so we kind of have it coming. These are different things. They are both bad, and I agree.
No, it's the same thing. Nah, it's the same thing. Violent rhetoric leads to stochastic terrorism. Both are true in both cases.
With you, Wick, it's not good to put a bullseye on somebody else. It's highly irresponsible. That is bad behavior. That is also not helping. But it is different to demonize the specific victim of the attack.
No, it's the same thing.
Again,
No, it's
demonizing the
same
specific
thing.
victim of the
It's
attack
same
to
thing.
justify
It's
it,
the
or
same
in your
thing.
words,
It's the same
to
thing.
that you say justifies
It's
it, is
the
also
same
bad.
thing.
But
It's the same
what are you going to do? Kill them more?
It's the
Right? They're going to dead more? No. When we're looking.
Just remember, okay, the violent rhetoric was spurred on by people on the right, not on the left, okay? Or it's not even close, at the very least. If you're going to point out, like, the different... It might as well not exist, okay? That's how different the two examples are. It might as well not exist. Like, that's how different, like, these two are, okay? So, yeah.
Looking at escalation, right? When we're talking about de-escalation,
Justifying
versus, just
further
real quick,
violence.
both escalate. You're right. Justifying further violence against
Oh, God, Wick, you're hurting my ears. Jesus Christ, bro.
specific people. That's worse. It's just like if I said, I don't
No.
like women, okay? Not something to say.
No, you don't, but okay.
But if I said, I don't like Tolly, that hits different, right?
Based? Okay.
There's difference there. You can understand the difference.
I hear what you're saying, and I'm not saying that that is good. And
Well, I mean, if you don't like women, isn't that kind of worse? I feel like, I mean, because you're disliking a specific person, but it's not necessarily because of sexism, right? But if you dislike Tally, it just sounds like you have an issue with her personally. Right? I don't know. But okay.
just like forgive me for my sympathy laying with the victim more than
Hold on.
other
My
politicians who are
sympathy
being
is
perpetrated
is
or
also
something
with
like that.
Charlie Kirk and his family. I have nothing
Lame,
but sympathy
boring,
for his family and for what he went.
lame.
And it's a tragedy. It's condemnable. I have started this stream and I will end this stream condemning this. So don't suggest that my sympathy does not lie with him. I am simply, when we're talking
No sympathy. Okay. No sympathy. Mm-mm.
about which kind of rhetoric escalates the situation, which is the topic that we're discussing or here, and how can we de-escalate the situation? All I am saying is that both of these people, both of these individuals, both of these groups who are trying to either blame the victim or blame other people for this, oh, it's less fault, now we have to have war. These are both condemnable, and we should condemn both. We don't have to play measure
People who are
to
talking
see
about
which is
war,
worse or
yes,
better.
They are also taking advantage of this tragedy. But if we want to actually de-escalate it, the problem that we have with political violence is the radical polarization in this country, where everyone believes that the person across from them on the political spectrum is their mortal enemy. So I don't see how if your goal, Wick, is to de-escalate and to try to prevent this from happening.
Hold on real quick.
Listen, I'm not one to cry on social media, but I am grieved right now. I'm angry and I'm heartbroken. If you look at these comments, Charlie Kirk just passed away, God rest his soul. This man was just trying to stand for truth in a dark and twisted society. He was just trying to have conversations with people. And he just got murdered. You look at the comment section and people are mocking him and saying serves him right. This should grieve you. You should be instantly brought to prayer. You cannot watch videos like this. This is demonic, seeing that woman get stabbed in the neck.
Speaking of prayer, do you think God intended for that bullet to hit Charlie? Jesus. Do you think God was like, yeah, you know what? I'm guiding the path. Oh, okay, sorry.
We can just scroll to the next video. This should be breaking us down to our knees and praying out to the Father and saying, Lord, help us. Lord, heal us.
Well, now they're making. Okay, stop. Okay, don't. Please just don't. Careful, doing.
Our land, please return from our wicked ways. The sin in our hearts first. Lord, purge the sin in my heart. We have all this darkness and wickedness within us as humans. We live in a Genesis 3 fallen world. I'm telling you guys, we just need to do something. We need to just repent and turn to God. I just reading these comments about Charlie Kirk just passed away, and the comments are like, serves him right. Like, how could you do that? How could you speak about another human being like that? How could you think about his family and his children? He's a human being. How could you murder someone for sharing their opinions, either if you believe in them or not? I didn't agree with everything the man said. I just like the stuff about Jesus. But Lord, help us, Lord. You shouldn't be looking at this stuff and not be affected. It should grieve you. If it's not, you really need to think for a second. Allow it to affect you. Allow it to sit in your heart for a second and recognize that this is evil. It should burn a righteous anger within you, a holy indignation against the devil and against Satan. This is wicked, you guys. This is awful.
What? Okay. Cool. Wait. Oh my god. Please link more of this. Sorry.
Such bullshit! This is such bullshit! I've never.
I saw Steven watch this. Nice.
This is such bullshit! I've never been so pissed in my whole life. And this murder Charlie Kirk right here in Utah. I'm so freaking pissed right now. This is bullshit. I just saw blood squirting out of his neck. I love that guy. He would have been our next president. I am so pissed right now. Why do they always come with fucking violence? Gosh damn it! Use your freaking words as they're talking to you people. Who shot Charlie Kirk? I'm driving down a Provo right now. I'm so pissed. Damn it! This is such.
It's not funny. It's not funny. Wow, that was a weird ass sneeze. It's not funny. Okay. Wait, where did I lose the spot that I wanted to take a look at? Jesus. No. Hold on. Oh, here we go. Not funny. It's not funny. It's not funny.
Polarization in this country where everyone believes that the person across from them on the political spectrum is their mortal enemy. So I don't see how if your goal, Wick, is to de-escalate and to try to prevent this from happening in the future, and I'm not attacking you here. Let me make this so very clear. But if that's your goal, I don't see how people coming on to say which side of the political spectrum is less condemnatory of violence or is more stochastic in the rhetoric. I don't know how that helps.
If you know which side is doing it more, you know which side you need to be more focused on when you're trying to stop this from happening again.
They are feeding each other.
Yes.
I know both sides.
They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats.
Who's feeding it
more? Tolly, you should have seen the stream. I made this point to Gibbs. I said exactly what you said because you're exactly right.
It's being ignored by panel members here, saying no, actually,
because I can't. Hold on. I have people on my panel who say bullshit I disagree with all the time, Tolly. There are people on my panel who say bullshit I disagree with all the time.
I'm not condemning you, Wick. I'm not condemning you literally at all. I'm just engaging in the conversation.
Okay, $10. Just real quick, let me make a little money, and then we'll pass it off to I'll let you finish, and we'll pass it off to Ash. Here.
I actually have to.
Adish, thank you for coming. I love you, buddy. I'll see you later. $10 from Time Watch to say Prime can speak for himself, but I read his comment, but he was fascist, as his rhetoric raised the possibility that this could happen. It's not a comment that it should happen, you idiots. Thank you for the $10. $5 from Cameraman 502 to say Mike Lee was shamed into deleting his tweet. Will Prime have the same amount of shame to admitting fault and withdraw? Good question.
Oh yeah, we have more concurrent viewers than Wick now these days. Pretty good.
Prime condemned it and didn't say that it was justified. If people read into that, then they read into that. But not to speak for Prime, but Mike Lee was literally saying it was Tim Walz' fault.
The super chatter is right. He did delete that tweet though.
That doesn't make it.
No. I agree. It doesn't make it better, but he did back off of it.
Well, I think it does make that better. Then are we saying there's
apologies
never any?
Definitely make something better.
Yeah, maybe it doesn't remedy the situation, but at least makes it better.
Yeah, but no, a direct
To be clear, if you don't think that apologies make something better, you're an evil person.
Well, did he apologize though, or did he just delete the tweet?
Yeah, did he apologize?
Yeah, walking things back is apologies.
Oh, that's not how to walk it back.
If he just deleted it, he didn't actually address the issue.
If Prime Kai's just deleting it is the issue, the presence of it, having it in public is the issue. So walking that back is an apology.
Walking back.
Oh my god, this guy looks like the guy. This guy looks like the guy.
Treating Prime. Why are we treating him like an elected official? I don't
Also,
understand.
after he deleted it,
Prime for president. Okay, but and
well, he put out an official statement after he deleted the posts.
Oh.
Yeah, said these hateful attacks have no place in Utah, Minnesota, or anywhere in America. Please join me in condemning the senseless violence and praying for the victims and their families. Which
That's so brave of him to say.
Okay,
but I accept it.
Okay, yeah, I accept it now, but this is just like today, right? Not.
I'll look and see when he
he's
tweeted
talking about
this.
Utah, right?
Let me see. Oh,
Unless he's
sorry,
referring to
not a
something
Washington
like that.
Post subscriber. Can't see the article.
Okay, well, don't worry
June
about it.
17th. There it is, June 17th.
Okay.
So,
what happened in Utah? Okay, I'm confused. That's okay. But we can move past that.
So wait. So all he said was murder is bad. He didn't actually say I'm sorry for blaming.
This panel is your average polykill amount. Yeah, this panel is just like me and all of my Mexican immigrants that I'm hiding. Okay.
Tim Walz for the murder of 2 Democrats. And
Well, this is the standard that we're setting out, right? This saying it's bad Charlie Kirk got shot.
So
no, we're saying don't celebrate it or blame people who aren't responsible, but making them targets. So that wouldn't be the same standard, actually.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, hold on. Prime's been trying to say
That's
something.
what they're telling you.
Prime,
Prime's
go
been
ahead,
saying
say
a lot of
something. Then I want to hear.
Yeah, I know, because I'm brilliant and I make good content. So of course I've been saying lots of things.
But you have 20 viewers.
That's why Wick brought me on here. But anyway, Wick, thank you. So Tali, first of all, nice to see you again. I've missed you. You're so much fun to talk to.
Fringe.
But I feel like a lot of your comments were directed at me. Was that the case or not?
Sure. I mean, yes, sure. In the context of the small piece of the conversation that I've been a part of, what I've heard of your comments earlier, sure. But my comments really go out more broadly.
Can I say one
That's
more
fair.
thing? Just scrolling through Twitter, and I just fact checked a little bit. So tell me if I'm wrong. But did Donald Trump Jr. tweet about got my Paul Pelosi Halloween costume ready with whitey tights and a ham?
Oh my god! I'm coming! Oh!
Finally, someone brought up Paul Pelosi.
That's crazy.
He absolutely did. And also, Charlie Kirk, in the aftermath of that, said if some amazing patriot out there in San Francisco or the Bay Area wants to really be a midterm hero, someone should go and bail out this guy out, the guy who attacked Paul Pelosi. Bail him out and then
He
go
also
ask
said
him
he
some
was
questions.
his gay lover spreading that misinformation as well.
Oh, did he say? Oh, was he part of the gay lover thing? He might have
he was
been.
also saying that. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So that it wasn't actually a real attack, or it wasn't like a real right winger who did it. I don't know if the guy was right wing, but he was like schizophrenic or whatever the fuck. Right? In any
That's
case,
why I'm so confused why this keeps being brought up as an example of politically targeted violence. Can anyone explain that?
Kirk defended that.
What?
They claim
he specifically targeted. No, he came for Nancy Pelosi. He specifically came there to attack Nancy Pelosi. That was his plan, and then Paul Pelosi happened to be the one there.
Right,
but
So
anyway,
this is documented that this guy.
Yeah, he
because
went there
you
to-
just
to-
made the
to-
case that he was schizophrenic and just went crazy.
What? Dude. Okay, so what if the shooter behind Charlie Kirk was schizophrenic and went crazy? What? Like, what are you talking about here? So you apply this, like, unreasonable standard when it comes to, when it comes to Paul Pelosi and who's attacking Paul Pelosi, this person was schizophrenic and this person was crazy, and that's why this person attacked Paul Pelosi. But I guess for Charlie Kirk's killer, we're not applying the same standards. How do you know he's not a registered Republican? How do we know he's not like also schizophrenic? This is just absurd to me. But yeah, okay, that's just very cool, I guess. But yeah.
So that's what I'm just trying to figure out. Maybe y'all have information I
But
don't
look at
have.
the way that the right is engaging with it, though, because if the right is, if Donald Trump Jr. and lawmakers and Charlie Kirk are going to be making comments about Paul Pelosi, they're making it political, regardless of the intentions of the guy that came there to shoot.
Hold on, no, hold on. This is a good point. However, the even better point is to point out his hypocrisy in analyzing the situation, right? Because again, how do you know this is political? How do you know this is political? Ask him this question. How do you know this was political?
No.
But we're still putting the cart before the horse, because my point earlier was, yes, we can talk about and debate about the proper response, and I agree. Look, y'all are not going to find disagreement with me in saying these are crass, bad taste jokes. My focus is not the aftermath. My focus is what is the conduct that's feeding into that causes it to happen in the first place. Because when we're talking about why Charlie Kirk gets shot, why Trump gets shot at, we're not focused as much on the response as isn't our whole conversation here like how do we avoid this happening again, which is going towards what's causing this, not what the reaction is.
De-escalation. Just real quick, $5.
Wait, Doobie is in chat in the
I'll
stage.
give him in a second. $5 from Deej Nuts to say, for your info, Wick, I want to make it clear I did not mean you in my statement about justifying the murder, just Prime. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay, thank you. So, Genty attorney. First of all, I want to come at you with positive energy. I think you've been trying to engage in this in a really healthy way.
I appreciate it.
So
Thank you.
Shout out to you. I've never met you before, but I like you so far. But let's talk about again, what I'm trying to say is we should be able to discuss a person's political actions and their commentary and all that stuff even just after a tragedy. But a lot of pushback has been like, well, okay, the rhetoric you're using, right, talking about these things, will increase violence. Okay, so let's talk about before they die, right? Now, I understand since you voted for him, I'm sure you won't agree with me, but I also think Trump is a fascist. I think he's the real fascist. I think one of the reasons I think Charlie Kirk is a fascist is his deep support for Trump and excusing all the horrible things he does, demagoguing from. But anyway, whatever. But again, I know you don't agree with that. However, if people on the left talk about Trump as being a horrible authoritarian, right? They don't even use the word fascist. Horrible authoritarian, as cracking down on our civil liberties, right? As a threat to democracy. Is that not allowed? Because someone somewhere could say, oh, a threat to our democracy, which the liberal media has been saying for years, right? A threat to our democracy, hey, we should take care of him. Should we also not be able to talk about that before the tragedy?
No, actually, I'll agree with you as far as, no, I think a lot of this should be open to criticism and open for debate. I think the issue is when we're seeing use of these terms like fascist, racist, like they just become so devalued and being applied to so many situations where they just don't apply that's.
But who the fuck is this person? This person is not a liberal, right? This person has to be a conservative, right? Like, I feel like not even a liberal would go this hard in terms of, like, the nicety politics. Jesus Christ. This guy living in his fucking, like, $1.2 million mansion, it looks like. I don't know if that's actually the case, okay? But, like, I'm just saying, like, holy shit. This guy's doing the ultimate PR move for the Republicans. This guy's doing it for free. At least all these other Republican motherfuckers are being paid.
That's what's creating the spinning up that when there is actual genuine criticism, that's now it's getting lumped into, or you might actually have a legitimate critique to say that might be a fascistic thing, like for him to do something unilaterally by EO, where it's got no.
This is why I push the word fascistic aside, because I know you're going to disagree with that. Like let's move that away. Let's say we just call him authoritarian, right? Which he is. Let's say that he's lawless, which he is. Let's say that he's a threat to democracy, which the liberal media has been saying for years. They've been saying that, right? I think there could be people who say like, well, if he's a threat to democracy, a threat to the country, well, I should do something about that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So those words that criticism never be out there. I mean, we can't let authoritarian take over the country, can we?
Well, that's why I think everyone, if we want to talk about what we do moving forward, is being a lot more careful, a lot more particular in making these pointed critiques. I'm sure y'all can agree with me. I hope that terms like racist, sexist, fascist get thrown around a little loosely.
I don't. Hold on. I think
I don't agree. I don't
well, they
agree.
do on their
The
side. Where are they
reason
going to be at?
Okay, we're having 20 different people talking. Hold on, just real quick. We're gonna Peaches and Ash. Go ahead.
I think that the word fascist and other words like it do get thrown around.
When it comes to lowering the temperature, all right, it should never be on the liberal or Democratic side, okay, first. It should always be on the Republican side first, okay? Yeah, I just want to say that.
A lot to the point that it gets tired, and I absolutely agree with you. But I think that would also speak to the idea of like calling somebody a fascist isn't as much of a cry of violence that we've been making it on the panel today. Now, especially when we're going to be comparing it to jokes that lawmakers make
anymore,
about
right?
violence.
Yeah.
Against
so it doesn't mean
anymore,
anything,
so
and
fine.
it causes violence at the same time. That's kind
yeah.
Hey, Ash.
Sorry. So jumping in here, they're using it for friend-enemy distinction. So yes, it doesn't really mean anything insofar as are you applying the specific definition historically that matches up with the fascist. All right, Charlie Kirk goes on and cries about transports 24/7. Okay, does that make him a fascist? No, but does calling him a fascist call for violence? Yes, because you've been calling for violence against people you identify as fascists for the past 10 years at the very least. The punch a Nazi thing, how long was that going on for? Nobody was at home thinking, well, I'm not a Nazi, I'm safe. They're thinking, if I get caught.
Wait, sorry, maybe I missed this, okay? Did MSNBC ever say to punch a Nazi? Did Destiny ever support punching a Nazi? Or did he explicitly go against the lefties that were saying that? Who exactly? Forget about the common people, okay? The political commentators. What was their rhetoric, right? It's not even close. It's not close, okay? So, okay, very cool. Glad we can get that out of the way.
Then that's just putting a target on my back. So the problem here is that you're looking for any excuse you can use to just update your friend-enemy distinctions and advocate for it. When Prime Kais went back and said, well, it sucks that he got shot, but remember this guy was a fascist, what he's saying is it was good.
I would love it if Republicans ever thought about their rhetoric at any time an attack on a left-wing politician happened. I would love it if that happened.
Okay, that might be
We
good.
don't live in that world, though,
but just to be clear, that might be good, but just to be clear, what happened on this panel.
Oh my, bro, this guy is like fucking Timu Vosh, okay? Timu Vosh if he grew out his hair, dude. This fucking Walmart Vosh over here. Oh my god. Who is this guy? Jesus Christ.
Was calling for
Two Hinged says, bro, this title was really something. Yeah, I know. Two Hinged.
more violence.
I mean, the
Nobody
problem
called
is
for
like
more
I
Yes,
don't
it was. Calling him a fascist. It's okay to be fascist. He was a fascist. People like him are fascists.
Yeah, people who believe in authoritarian take over the government and like people who believe in using the judiciary.
Was that
against
Charlie
people the way
Kirk?
He does, yes. And I mean, people who do
Okay,
like
so you
they
approve of
are
shooting him.
fascistic. But
So you
See how
approve
you
of
so
shooting
sorry,
him.
if we
Did she say that?
identify a problem and identify like a belief that somebody has, and what that belief is necessarily, just because we go A to B to C to D means that we can't say it because we're obviously saying that this person should be killed. Like, because here's the thing. I mean, when we talk about what Republicans are doing every day on Fox News, it's like Democrats are destroying the country.
Now, the real question is, when is stumbling through life going to appear on one of these panels? Dude, we need some gloam-eyed queen action, okay? I need to raise an army of liberal women who are willing to be liberals, okay? They need to be hardcore liberals, okay? Not to the left, not to leftists, not to moderates, okay? We need an army of hardcore liberal women, okay? All right, that's it. People like Z, okay?
Country, they're going to come for your children, they're going to hurt your kids, they're going to hurt that. Do you think that the people don't believe that motherfuckers who are going to like come take your kids or like come like mutilate their whatevers should be hurt or killed? I mean, like, what, we can't say anything then? Because like clearly we can't be the only ones to step back.
Democrats kill babies.
Before you respond to that, $10 from Mr. Everything to say, for a Gen Z lawyer, would you say the same thing about the word communism, socialism, or any other word thrown at the left?
Well, I'll just correct it by saying it's Gen Z attorney, not Gen Z lawyer. So get it together.
Get it right.
Unbelievable. Also, I know it's a mouthful. I said it earlier. You can Scotty, whatever y'all want. That's fine too. To answer the question though, I guess I would have to look at the outcomes are really what matter the most to me here, because where are we seeing the, I guess, widespread, or I guess any actionable takes that people are saying on the name of
I'm really trying to empathize with Kirk, but Kirk himself was against empathy. So just have to respect his demise. I'll have zero empathy for him. True based. Marching orders, true. Yeah. For the record, okay? Yeah, dude. I fucking love Stumbling. Stumbling is like one of my favorite people on the internet. It's just like warm, cuddly vibes, okay? We need to see the war side of you, okay? Right, that's what.
Communism. I'm going after this person because they're a communist.
People call Democrats baby killers, and then people go and attack abortion clinics.
True.
Yeah, no, okay, yeah.
Holy shit! Okay, that's such a good example. Thank you so much for bringing that up. Yes, that's such a great example. Yes. Oh my god. Wait, I didn't even think of that example. Yes, good example. Good.
Concede that. Look, I'm willing to concede any specific acts of violence. It'd be ridiculous not to. But my point would be, where is we seeing this?
See, this entire panel is food shopper versus food shopper violence, okay?
As a broad trend.
The act of terrorism here
A as a broad trend.
in America
B
has been by right wingers.
A as a broad trend. B as a broad defense of the broad trend. That's what I'm looking for, and that's what I'm not seeing.
Do we
usually by
hold
white
on,
supremacists?
just real quick? Do we think, and this was just brought to my attention, do we think that it's okay that Trump is having the flags fly at half-mast for Charlie Kirk, but he refused to do that when a Minnesota legislator died, as tradition would demand?
I think it's pretty fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I mean, how he said that he doesn't even need to call walls because it's a waste of time. Yet we're supposed to go all the way on our side to be like, oh my god, it was such a tragedy when he couldn't even.
Oh, this is a base screen. Okay, hold on. Is this a base screen? This sounds like a base screen. Okay.
Make a.
My daughter does think I can be vicious in good way at times. You need to be. We need you out there in the fight, okay, Stumbling? We need you out there in the fight, okay?
Phone call, my dude.
But see,
You're
I'm
right.
gonna
You're
push.
right.
I'm pushing back.
If there's terrible behavior in this country, we should just match it because that is exactly the way to get past it.
Let me push back on that specifically.
Let me talk about matching it. You're also just
nobody said that.
Let me talk about
Tim Walz and calling for more people to be shot.
So if Trump were to make a phone call to Tim Walz and say, "I'm sorry for your loss," would everyone here be like, "That's an awesome thing to do"? No one here would be saying, "Oh, he's just doing that for the cameras."
I would give him credit for that.
No, I would give him credit for that.
Yeah,
of course.
You're all saying it'd be a good thing to. So no one here would think it's just simply performative. And
some performances matter, right? Some of these performances, especially. Hold on, just real quick. This is important, and then I got a super chat, and I'll let you guys go. But some performatives, even if they don't really actually mean it in their heart of hearts, still matter, especially when you're a public figure, especially when you're the president of the United States. There is a reason we have certain performances, as you want to call them,
Well, I
and
just wanna
certain
piss.
norms that we follow,
Like
even if
visiting
we
the
don't
site of
really
disaster.
want to. $5.
I think we might do a late stream tonight, just mainly because of how big the event is. I think it's just worth it to do a late stream. Yeah. Fuck.
I hope.
And just because I want to get the footage out on a lot of these things. Okay. Also, guys, please follow my Kick. Please follow my YouTube. Please go to my server. Please. I'm begging you guys to follow my Twitter. Go to my server, okay? Because I don't know if, I don't know the possibility of me getting removed on YouTube. I don't know the possibility of any of this. Okay? I don't know if I'm gonna get banned. I don't know if anything will happen to me, okay? So please follow me on all platforms so then I don't get like fucking destroyed, okay? Yeah, just in case I get J-stalked, okay? So yeah, just so you know, that's it. Or not so I did. Yeah.
It's not a right to drive
nobody
a car,
here
though.
would say. I hope that nobody
It's
here
not a right to
would
drive a car,
ghoulishly.
though. You know
I
that, right?
hope that nobody here would ghoul.
My dream is this, okay? My dream is this. If I ever get banned off of YouTube, I want to have at least 100 viewers on another platform that is not YouTube, okay? Minimum, okay? I'm not even demanding like 500 like J-Stock, okay? I just need a sizable enough audience to actually get my message out, okay? That's it. All right, that's it.
Foolishly take that tweet
Just
or
in
that
case.
clip
Just in
and
case, okay?
celebrate me
Just in
getting
case.
run over by a car.
no
Even
one
if
Sure,
it was
agreed. But
celebrating.
again,
Nobody
it's
said that.
literally not a right.
It's
Hold on.
punch and
Let
go
me talk to the attorney.
Maybe
It's
one or two
literally not a
exceptions.
right to
Even
drive a
one-
car.
Hold on, one at a time. One at a time. Go ahead,
Comedy is
Katya.
illegal.
Go ahead,
Oh
Katya
my
first.
God.
Katya.
Yeah,
Then we'll go to Prime. Go ahead.
I think the problem here is like we're interpreting this as like a legitimate political opinion, but like what we're saying here is that it's ironic. It's like, you know, saying that it's ironic that Charlie Kirk also said,
Oh my god, yes. Correct opinion detected. Yes, we're saying it's ironic. Yes. Okay, yes. It's not, it's fine to say it's ironic, right? Yeah.
that
exactly. Good.
he would
Yes.
be in
True.
support of there being
I
believe,
also
public
just real quick.
televised executions.
I
Like, it's
have to go do a
ironic.
thing. Give me like 2 minutes.
Queen.
Don't say any slurs while I'm gone. But
Don't worry, I got you, buddy. Don't worry.
Prime's in charge.
Anyways, let's all say no, but
Yeah,
I mean,
let's all go one
it's
at a time.
ironic. It's not necessarily that it's, you know, like a political belief that we hold or a
So
legitimate
just flip it then. Just
Yeah,
flip
it
it.
is ironic.
Please try to stay on YouTube. I'm trying, okay? You guys just need to chill out, okay? All right? Just keep in mind, all right? Listen, I know that people are tempted to say crazy shit, okay? I love you guys, but please think of the long-term health of my channel, okay? Thank you.
If you have any left-wing person with a left-wing policy prescription, let's apply it to crime then. Someone who says, "Hey, we should do cashless bail, or we should do more community programs and lessen the prison population." And the next thing you know, they're getting stabbed to death by someone who was the recipient of this lessened prison population. And now, am I allowed to say, "Oh, isn't that ironic that they advocated for this person to get out and now they died because of it"?
Yes,
Y'all accept
you're allowed
that?
to say it's ironic.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you can
sure.
say that. It's ironic for
The title's so keynote. That's right. Wait, hold on. I'm gonna be right back. I gotta go to the bathroom. All right, good luck. All right, see ya. I'll see you guys in a bit. Okay. Whoa. I gotta go to the bathroom. Hold on. Wait. It's not pooping. It's peeing. Okay. I gotta pee. It's peeing. Okay. Don't go away, please. All right. Be right back. I hope you get partnered on Kick before prawn. That'd be funny though. No, I'm already partnered. Okay. There's no need for you to say that. I'm already partnered. In a way, I think. Right? Am I partnered? I can't tell. I don't know. I don't know anything. Okay. What can I say? Meow. Okay. Meow. Be right back.
Okay. You know what I'm saying. I'm not saying.
Like
It's
nobody
not am I
cares.
legally. It's not am I legally allowed to say it. It's are y'all accepting that?
Yeah,
as
I would accept that.
No
Yeah,
one
I don't
cares.
It's a
Yeah, you can
perfectly
say it.
fine thing to believe.
Yes.
Notice
It's
how
just that
every
it's
time you do
ironic.
this, Gen Z
That
attorney,
it's
you've done this a couple
ironic,
times.
yes.
Everybody bites the bullet because we obviously understand
Okay,
the logical
I bit the
conclusions of
bullet
what we
every
say.
time, and I bit the bullet every time too. But it's and
But
now
you're
you
acting
didn't
like
you did
it's
the
so
D's,
crazy
not
that we
me.
would.
Okay,
I
same
think Charlie
thing.
Kirk has bad values. I don't
it's
agree with
foolish.
him.
I think
but
that you
he's
shouldn't
still-
do it. I think it detracts from the wider conversation about violence and de-escalation and stuff.
I
like
want to
that.
know,
It's a
what
way
do
to
y'all
sidestep
think
it.
about Trump's handling and Trump's address to the people?
Oh, we never got
psychotic.
over the
I
video
think that
itself.
if anything's gonna, talk about, if we're talking about inciting violence, then I mean, we're talking about, oh, well, these people are inciting violence. These are our enemies. This is the radical left is all to blame for this before we even know who the shooter is. Now, fucking Charlie Kirk, this beloved figure, is gone because the radical left hates you and hates this country. Okay, if we're gonna talk about where's the, the violent rhetoric and like ratcheting shit down, where the flip is he? Like, what's he saying? Like, nothing.
Because
We're just
the
gonna keep.
He said
That's
terrorism,
why-
by the way, too. The radical left
I
is
mean,
responsible for terrorism, is what I wrote down. So.
And wait,
Let's let
shouldn't
in-
terrorists
that's
be
an exact
killed?
quote.
Don't we believe
okay.
that? Don't people believe that terrorists should be killed?
Are we just calling people
Yeah, they do.
enemies?
No,
What are we doing?
that was it. This is going to be Operation Choke Point. What are we on? 3.0 now? If this goes through.
No, we're talking about what the president just said, like 7 or
No,
what,
that's what
10
I'm
minutes ago
describing.
now?
Like, okay, so Operation Choke Point was a reference to there was a practice of shutting down gun manufacturers, sex workers, and alternative payment platforms and alternative social media sites during the Obama years, using payment processors kind of as a point of leverage.
What does that have to do with
And I
calling people
think-
terrorists?
And I think, well, it came out of the Patriot Act, so the justification was stopping
Wow.
terrorism. So it had a pretty
hate the
big
Patriot Act.
fucking. The whole deal was pretty fucking focused on terrorism, but it ended up getting applied to other people, political dissidents, basically inside the country. And I think that's going to happen to the left now, and I think that sucks. I think that's bad.
Wow.
Right, which is
brave.
why, which is one of the reasons why, I'm not like supporting this. And like, when I found out this happened, I was like, oh shit. Right? Like, I'm not saying that this should have happened to him. And I don't think anybody else is here either saying that it was a good thing to happen to him in the long run, or it's effectuating some goal that's helpful. Like, we're not saying that, honestly, just because people are saying it's ironic or it's okay for people to have, like, to see people as enemies, and that doesn't mean that you want them to be killed. I feel like that's super different than, like, kind of what we end up applying. Because then if we say, oh, if you say somebody's a fascist, if you say somebody's a Nazi, that means you want them to be killed. And Democrats have been saying that. But, like, they're saying terrorists. The president is saying it right on live TV, like, in AI definition in front of freaking everybody. So, I mean, what? Is that not advocating that the radical left should be killed just like Charlie Kirk was? Like, I'm confused.
He killed a couple of terrorists.
I'm not confused.
Supposedly
I think
Venezuelan
that's
terrorists.
that's probably
just the
where
other,
it's going.
day, so.
I think a lot of people
Yeah.
are going to get swept up into black vans.
Yeah, it's pretty
no
bad.
apparent reason.
The president of the United
Probably
States is doing
no
that.
due
Yeah.
process
Well,
or anything like
Isn't that
that.
kind of
Last time-
fascistic?
Sucks.
Last I remembered was that when the Supreme Court decided on the issue of presidential criminal immunity, I was promised that Trump was going to start SEAL Team 6ing his opponent. So I'm still waiting on that to happen, I guess.
He's
Well,
literally
it's a lot
started a
closer
secret
now.
police.
What are
He's
you
literally a
arguing?
secret
Wait, what do
police,
you mean?
He could do that anytime he
grabbing
wanted.
people off the streets.
Are you saying that you
literally
don't-
a secret police doing
Wait,
that
actually,
right now?
Actually, I would be actually really, really curious then, because now I'm trying to understand. So, how do you
Turn up
feel,
pride.
Gen Z attorney, about? I hate to like zero in on you like that,
please.
but what do you think of what Trump said? That made me feel like you didn't think that it was necessarily genuine, or like, what do you think?
No, I mean, my broad take is just that obviously a lot of it's premature. That's, I think, one of the very first things I said when I got on here tonight was there's so much information we don't have currently, and stuff is breaking fast, and so you have to take every breaking fact with a grain of salt. Like, we thought we had the shooter, and then an hour later, nope, turns out it's not. So, yeah, certainly there's a lot that's still happening. So that's why I agree. I think it's premature to point to any one singular cause of action. I guess that's my broad take. And so, but I think note too, he didn't specify anyone in particular. Yeah, he was using the elusive they, or like these organizations that fund
Radical left.
violence.
The radical
So-
left. You have to name them first,
But
middle, last.
who is the radical left then? It's
He says
Anyone
in
he
a bunch of
decides it to be.
times.
Like, yeah.
Okay,
Me
okay. I do have
personally-
to. I do have some super chats. $2 from Joe the Mig to say Kirk being pro 2A doesn't minimize any gun death. $5 from Natural Phenomenon to say pointing out Kirk's perceived hypocrisy is not a justification for his death. No one here wanted him to die, but he's still a hypocrite. $10 from Audacity to say, I think we are beyond the point of Grr Trump should turn down the rhetoric when a right-wing pundit was just deleted with more action angles in a Bollywood film. This is wholly your problem. And
How about
finally,
the left Democrat
$200 from JMac. Thank you for the money.
Nice.
I love you, Wick, but I'm
Back
out.
in Minnesota.
Keep being a moderate voice. Anyone on this panel who is being a disingenuous ghoul, I hope no one takes you seriously. I hope you become ignored to the point of obscurity, so you're left to scream into the void.
Real quick, I'm still on break, okay? Where the fuck is my $200? What the fuck? Where the fuck is my $200? Jesus Christ!
As you continue to lose any semblance of notoriety. Thank you for the 200. Okay.
So
we're gonna just like
I
read out
did
like the
see-
hate rant from "I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream" next. Are we gonna do that? Like we can do that, but it's kind of funny.
Scotty. So like you said, you were promised that he was gonna Trump was gonna be black bagging people when he got presidential immunity. ICE right now is acting like a secret police, showing up to people, not showing their faces, right? Like masking themselves, snatching people off the streets, and we've been allowed by a Supreme Court to be able to do it for any particular reason, right? Even if it's just looking by their ethnicity or having an accent, right? That's being allowed right now. People disappearing off to secret prisons, like exfiltrating them out of the country into other places like CCOT, right, where they literally are tortured physically and sexually. That's happening right now in America, and Donald Trump is the one who's doing it.
The idea that
And also, he just like murdered 11 people in a speedboat, called them narco terrorists, right, in international waters, and says, "Oh, I guess that's fine." So, lawyer, counselor, right? Does that not sound like a danger to democracy?
He also apparently did send SEAL Team 6 to North Korea to kill a couple of fishermen.
Oh,
and
yeah,
he
there's
didn't tell
that
anybody
too.
about it. So
Yeah,
it's funny that it also happened to come out in the last couple days, but
yeah.
So
$5 from Audacity to say they're not showing their face, says guy with cam off.
Indeed.
Well, Prime Kai's
I am
guy.
to be clear, hold on, just to real quick.
He just doesn't want to be seen
Prime
smiling.
Kai, we know what he looks like because he's on camera all the time.
Put a shirt on.
I don't know why he refuses to make cam this time, but it's not like he's hiding his face, okay? Like we know
also,
what he
he's
looks
not
like.
part of the government also.
We can't be sure.
Whatever.
But yeah, put a damn shirt on, Prime, and cam up so we can see your lovely face. Go ahead.
Or us fellas would not impose this upon the ladies, but us fellas, we just take our shirts off and join them in solidarity.
We take our shirts off for $50. Okay, there's a price.
We just got $200, so $200. That's 4 shirts, right there.
No, they got to pay for it specifically. It's not just any super chat. Sorry.
Yeah. If someone
Twitch
donates another $50 specifically for me to take off my to put on my camera, then I will do so for my friend Wick. I will absolutely do so. Okay. But yeah, so Scott, right? Would that not be signs of authoritarianism, if not fascism?
So the point I was getting at, bringing up specifically the criminal immunity case, because that one just really jumped out at me. Because I was a prosecutor and now I'm private practice, so I don't really do much constitutional law by trade. But I was very interested in law school and I keep up with it as much as I can. But the criminal immunity one really jumped out to me because everyone was quoting the.
Just how many fucking lawyers are on this fucking panel? Where's Kafka? Where's Kafka to give his take? We need someone who is an actual fucking... Listen, Kafka is the only lawyer I trust, okay? The only lawyer. Maybe Pisco sometimes. But like, listen.
Yeah, I was once a practicing attorney.
We need a lawyer with balls. We need a lawyer with guts. That's what we need, okay? Wait. Content suggestions. Sorry. MSNBC fired political commentator hours after unacceptable Charlie. Oh my god. Right. Bring up the Roachman. I wish Kafka would join stream one day, okay? I want Kafka to join stream one day. I really do. I really do. Holy shit. That's like the one guest I want to have on stream. MSNBC fires political commentator hours after unacceptable Charlie Kirk comments. MSNBC fired senior political analyst Matthew Dowd on Wednesday, hours after he made widely criticized comments about the assassination of conservative activist Charlie Kirk. According to multiple reports. Speaking after the shooting, but before it was reported that Kirk had died, MSNBC host Katie Tur asked Dowd about the environment in which violence such as this can take place. He's been one of the most divisive, especially divisive younger figures in this, who is constantly sort of pushing this sort of hate speech, sort of aimed at certain groups. Dowd said to Kirk, adding, blah, 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 his comments were condemned online, especially after figures on the right, causing MSNBC to trend on X amid a growing call for Dowd to be fired. And then Dowd got fired. Jesus Christ. Cowardly behavior, okay? If you're doing this to escape the wrath of Trump, I'm sorry, but it will not save you, okay? If Trump has you in his eyesight, if Trump already determines you to be an enemy of the state, he's already coming after you. Whether or not you're firing this person or not, okay? Nothing, that will not change, all right? That will not change. I'm sorry, but any kind of appeal to the right is useless unless they feel like they're being merciful to you, okay? But yeah, that's about it on that take.
Dissent, right? The famous ending from Sotomayor, which is, with fear for our democracy, I dissent. And it's just, that's the kind of doomer language that I kind of led off this entire panel with, of like, it's frustrating that that's the kind of rhetoric we're used to talk about the doctrine of presidential criminal immunity, which I don't know if anyone actually read the opinion. It's actually...
Again, okay, it's good for Harvard to fight Trump. It's good for everything else to fight Trump. What XCOM mod are you playing? TED Jam pack. TED Jam collection, okay?
Actually...
Over 200 mods, by the way.
I fully 100% 10 toes down agree with the majority for rationales that no one even, I had yet to see a single person talk about in the media, on YouTube. Basically, this idea of cannibalization, where they're trying to get ahead of just this nonstop back and forth of political prosecutions and self-cannibalization. But that phrase, cannibalization, that was referenced explicitly in the opinion as like the main rationale, and all the commentary, all the pundits didn't even bring it up at all. So that's one of my frustrations, though. It's like there's real, legit, good rationale for explaining this, yet the takeaway that half the country gets is from a Supreme Court justice who, is supposed to be credible on these issues. It's, with fear for our democracy, I dissent.
You agree that the majority opinion didn't address the SEAL Team 6 hypothetical, right? Even though it was brought up in oral argument? They just didn't address it.
So, sorry.
You can just say yes.
From what I recall, it was. I mean, yeah, you can certainly say it wasn't addressed in oral arguments. There's plenty of stuff that
should have been. Right? No, it was addressed in oral argument. It wasn't in the majority opinion. Probably should have been.
So,
right?
so they addressed the dissent directly on main points, and no, and yeah, it.
Wait, why are we talking about this? Is this talking about the Supreme Court decision thing?
Addressed it in the sense that.
Have you seen some haircut? No.
It dismissed it because the framework that they laid out,
link.
And I have to go back through my outline just to brush up on the exact details. But the framework that was laid out by the majority got into this idea of official. Well, it's three buckets. I don't want to get too deep into it, but 3 buckets of how we're going to categorize these acts, and that's why it actually wasn't even an overruling. It was a remand back to the district court to do this categorization question. But when you're talking about official acts. That's basically
they didn't get whether or not a SEAL Team 6 assassination would be an official act.
Because using
it doesn't
SEAL
matter
Team
if they addressed it in a broad sense or they didn't say SEAL Team 6, so you can just stop there because unless you point to a quote where they say SEAL Team 6, he's going to have an autistic spurg out for the next fucking hour.
Okay, $5 from Audacity
This guy, man.
to say, I know it's just fun to poke Prime. Geez, so sensitive. $5 from Joe the MIG to say ICE agents begin masking specifically in response to progressive activities, doxing agents and targeting their families. Prime, quit being dishonest. Okay.
Sorry, what?
Oh, dude. I'm sorry, but I just don't feel bad for ICE, okay? I just don't feel bad for ICE. I don't. But okay.
See how
really happy that Ash
it's still not great if police
Sorry, what was I being dishonest about?
Crazy how CBP and ICE before this admin could just have their face out and they didn't have this problem. That's crazy.
That's wild.
Could you repeat that super chat? I don't know what you're being dishonest about.
Okay, I'll repeat it one more time. ICE agents began masking specifically in response to progressive activities, doxing agents, and targeting their families. Prime, quit being dishonest.
Yeah, fuck that. One, our police officers have the same threats against them, I guess, right? When they do horrible things, when they're protected by their departments, yeah, they can get doxxed. People demand their identities, right, from their departments, and then maybe people protest in front of their houses or whatever, right? That's part of the job in terms of law enforcement. Now we have masked up people, dragging people off the street, not even identifying themselves, like pulling them into vans, unmarked vans, and driving them off, right? And because ICE is no longer identifying themselves, we've had instances where women have been dragged off by people who are like flashing badges saying, I'm ICE, right? Gotten them in a van and then raped them. That's the thing that's happening in America right now. So fuck that and fuck your secret police.
Okay, we just have, this is also semi-breaking news. The Unfuck America Tour has released a statement, and I'm going to read that. Okay? The Unfuck America Tour creators, organizers, and staff are disturbed by the assassination of Charlie Kirk. The entire mission of National Ground Game and the Unfuck America Tour is to have good faith debates with our political opponents. We were really excited to meet with Charlie Kirk for a
If just came here after trolling on Asmongold's video, it's full of theater kids acting like tough, hardy warriors. Yeah, we have to also react to the fucking right-wing reaction to this fucking cringe. Okay, we have to do it.
scheduled debate a week from Sunday and are devastated by this outcome. Charlie was a husband, a son, and a father who loved his country. Even though we disagreed with his political philosophy, we respected the hard work it took to build Turning Point USA, as our founder stated on CNN. Unfortunately, one of the Unfuck America debaters was debating Charlie when this happened and had to witness this horrifying traumatic event. Because of this, we are asking that people respect both our creators and our staff's privacy while we grieve. At this time, we have canceled all events until further notice. We are
Have you seen the Trump video addressing this? Beginning of the stream. Rewind.
keeping Charlie's family, friends, and staff in our prayers and will be there for them if and when they are ready to reach out. We wholeheartedly condemn any and all political violence. Okay, I think.
So how do they feel about Destiny? Destiny was saying he was celebrating. My understanding that he said he was celebrating this.
I don't know why we're talking about any of this when the president of the United States said that the radical left is responsible for this type of terrorism, and we have been talking for fucking hours about how calling somebody a fascist is horrible because that's what drives political violence and gets right people like murdered in the streets because we're calling them fascists. And you have the
Oh my god. Yes. Thank you. Based. What is this? Yes, no, babe, I know. Okay, Jesus.
The president of the United States saying that this is radical left terrorism, and he's going to start going after them and organizations. And we have the dude that's been crying about being called a fascist.
Okay, a bit soy, okay, but you know what? Good enough, okay.
For years, saying that, oh, well, I mean, it's just, we don't know that a lot yet. It's jumping the gun. Can you not say that you condemn that and that that is directly targeting the radical left as a terrorist organization?
But Destiny,
in the United States.
I raise you, but Destiny.
1 month ago, when two different Democratic representatives were directly assassinated by a far-right extremist for explicitly political reasons, where was the White House condemning that and
Trump
condemning
didn't
the
even name him.
What is this
Did you
double
notice
standard?
that? Trump didn't
Where
name
were conservatives apologizing for this?
No,
But don't you know that calling walls was a waste of time, as he said?
There was
Trump
no
didn't
White
even
House
acknowledge
address.
them.
Yeah,
when
there's
he
no
was
White House address
listing
then.
people that have been killed for political reasons, political violence, Trump didn't even fucking mention their names
Peach,
just now.
who did
Like,
you
this
want
isn't
to
that
answer
faith.
your question? You had like a
no,
challenge. Who were you? Was that Ash or
Gen
was
Z
it Scott?
attorney.
Okay.
Sorry,
Scott,
could you summarize the
Sorry.
question for me?
Sorry, you're right. Okay, so I would just say, I just don't understand how, like, do you think that what Trump's message to the people was, do you think that that is escalating any type of violence against the left? Or I guess, where are you on that scale? If we were talking about what do we do moving forward after Charlie Kirk's unfortunate death today, how do we stop this division and violence in the United States? Do you think that Trump's message to the American people helps?
So, like I said, I think a lot of what the the first half I agree. I think was perfectly fine. When he started getting into some of the more specific language, I thought that was premature, just because we simply don't have the information to get specific yet. So I think that was premature, because yeah, certainly we could find out. It's probably unlikely, just considering the situation, but we could find out something about the shooter that yeah, maybe he was some sort of crazed stalker super fan. We truly, it doesn't seem like it, very unlikely, but we just truly don't know at this point. And if that's the case, then like, look, Evans, we're gonna have a field day looking back at this statement that Trump just gave, where he was like, no, the radical left is responsible for this, and then turns out it was a conservative. So I think so.
We've forgotten about like every time this happens, where they just pretend that they're not a conservative.
But
They
does
could
it
be a conservative, but if they donated $10 to Act Blue 45 quadrillion years ago, people are going to be like, "Oh, they were a secret Democrat."
But
If they
did his
had
message-
one left wing, like, yeah.
What about his message about the radical
And-
left?
and
What did that do? Did that
So
escalate or not?
And honestly,
Yeah,
I think
you said it was premature. Is it bad? Is it horrible?
Yeah.
Is it like a really
Condemnation.
horrible fucking thing to say if you want to?
Because your implication is
quell
that it would be
political
justified
violence
if
in
it
this
turns out it is a
country?
liberal.
Yeah, if it's one liberal crazy person all of a sudden going after everybody and saying the radical left did this, that's okay, that's cool.
Because he said that he's
well-
trying to target organizations too, so
premature.
he's not going after just one person.
Premature is not a morally loaded statement, because it could
should
come
be.
out. It could come out that he's completely right in what he's saying. It could come out that he's completely wrong.
So if
So,
he's
That the
right, it makes
entire
it good?
radical
No.
left caused this, so it's quote unquote radical left, aka
Yeah, but
everybody chooses
If
to
they
say
start
that.
going
I don't
after
think-
organizations
that?
as a result,
is anyone genuinely interpreting this to mean that?
Oh,
like,
he
you
doesn't
guys,
mean what he
were
says.
This guy,
you were
man,
joking.
this is
You were
why.
joking earlier, like
Conservatives
we all
are.
had our
Dishonesty.
hand on the gun. So no one's interpreting it that way. And I just think,
Conservatives
like,
are. They're using this as justification to prosecute all Democrats.
Like the guy he pardoned who just said this means war against Democrats.
Oh fuck! Who the fuck is this lady? This butch lesbian coded person. Holy shit! She's kind of spitting. Like she's okay. I really appreciate anyone who brings up points that I haven't heard before. Like I think anyone who brings up points like oh yeah, right now they're justifying this to go after all Democrats. Oh my god, thank you. That's a good point. Oh my god. Yes. Keep in mind, yes, all of our hands are dirty now because it isn't like, again, they're justifying collective punishment about all of this, right? Yeah. Foodshops, how do you legitimately feel about the Charlie Kirk situation? I'm against vigilantism. I legitimately am, right? Like, for example, when the United CEO healthcare person got assassinated, like, I am against that. Like, it's the same thing, right? Like, obviously, vigilantism bad, but that's a very boring take to me. The more exciting take is more like, okay, do you feel bad? Do you feel bad for this person or not, right? Do you feel like this person, you know, do you find it ironic and funny, right? And the thing I would say is, I do find it ironic. I do find it funny. I do. Okay? Sorry. That's just my feelings. Okay? That's it.
That we just watched that video a couple hours ago.
he said that
So,
he was going to
yeah,
start
I was
going
gonna-
after organizations for this
I was gonna bring that
terrorism.
up. I was gonna bring that up. That video we watched of the guy who was saying like this means war. And honestly, my intuitive feeling with lots of people like that is they're just LARPing cosplayers, and
That guy was a
doesn't
J6er.
It doesn't translate. So, and I've already conceded.
They're always
Jan-
not serious. Whenever it's the
January-
right, it's
criminal.
not serious.
What if the left?
January
A,
6th
then
is
B,
the
then C,
one
then D.
exception. I've already bit the bullet on January 6th. That's the one. And the way y'all are feeling
You
right
can't say
now
that guy's
about
a LARPer. He's a J6er.
the way you guys are feeling right now about how it's like, wow, this really sucks because now I feel like the right is just gonna use this as their calling card for the however foreseeable future. That's how I felt watching January 6th. Of like, this is horrible, this is awful,
Didn't happen,
and this is
so-
gonna be held up as the calling card for here we are, almost 6 years later now, and half this conversation has been about January 6th, which I already bit the bullet
But
on
you
the
have
first
to
time you
hear
asked me.
about it. You have to hear
You
about
don't
it
care about Jan
compared
6. Okay, cool.
This
Yeah,
is the
it's a
problem,
really
right? We're comparing
sociopathic
hearing
parody of
about
what
it
January
and
6th
having.
Oh my god, thank god all the women on this panel so far, except for Tally. Fuck. Oh, Tally. Why? But except all the women on this panel has been so fucking base so far. Holy shit. Except for Tally. Okay, I have to clarify that part, okay? Oh my god, thank you. Oh my god, thank you. Holy shit. Holy fuck. Alright, I feel like whenever a white woman comes up, I'm like, I'm expecting the dumbest take of all time, okay? I'm like, oh shit, dude, oh my god. It's fucking yap o'clock. It's fucking yap o'clock, okay? Thank God. Okay, Jesus Christ.
Maybe people try to go after Trump judicially or whatever, like that, the indictments and stuff, compared to this conversation of how we need to go off over after these left-wing organizations as a whole. We need to go after individuals. People are saying this is war, compared to
Z was also based, okay? All right? Z did what was strategic in that moment, which is based, okay? But so yeah, based.
what people who were there getting arrested for January 6th, and then you having to hear about it.
Remember,
I think that these aren't the
crime
things.
calling,
And so-
crime calling Charlie Kirk a fascist is the problem with
Which is
violence in the United
compliment
States.
for white
But Trump
woman.
literally demonizing the radical left as terrorism didn't do anything.
And pardoning people
It's
who
fine.
say that we're going to war with Democrats, also very cool. Yeah, that's not.
No.
$5 from Audacity to say maybe
Just
the
a
left
little
should stop deleting people. $5 from Natural Phenomenon to say the
Amazing.
relationship between Trump and the left is that of an SA victim.
Bro, Audacity has to be one of the most mentally retarded, deficient vegetables to ever exist in this entire space, okay? This motherfucker, every single time this person has probably spent hundreds of dollars to advertise himself as one of the biggest retards in this entire space, okay? Like congratulations, okay? I'm so glad that Wick is like reading out your super chats, okay? Because you have shown yourself to be chromosomally gifted, okay? So thank you. All right, you're well regarded, shall I say?
Being told not to call it SA. We were not his first target. And then $5 more from Deej Nuts to say if I lived in a red state, I'd register Democrat. In a blue state, I'd register Republican. Party affiliation does not mean anything. Thank you for the $5.
You get to vote in the primary.
Okay. Oh, gang.
Brave centrist.
Regardless of what we want
Huh.
to happen, okay, what do we think will happen next? What's the next?
Nothing. Trump is probably going to send more fucking National Guard around and doing crazy shit, but then other than that, nothing will happen. Good luck.
What does tomorrow look like? What does next week look like? What does a month from now look like in America? I want to start with she's right, and then I want to go around. Go ahead.
Okay.
Realistically or idealistically?
Realistically, what do you realistically? Not what you want. I understand, and I want to make it clear to the audience: these people aren't wish casting here, or they shouldn't be. But what do they actually think will happen? Go ahead.
Realistically, I think everyone deep down believes and knows that liberals are better on these things and are criticizing and expecting liberals to apologize and denounce for a bunch of things that is not expected or reciprocated. And
Hi, Brand, you can't be caught up? No, I'm sorry, I can't catch you up. Okay. Listen, otherwise I have to play catch up with like every single new person who comes in here, so probably not, sorry.
a lot of like bad faith manipulation and negging of like, oh, I'm going to vote for a Republican unless you denounce that, when they're just going to vote for Republican anyway. And then a bunch of liberals and leftists especially are going to keep taking the bait, and we're just going to keep doing this. And then completely letting alt-right violence, which is surging and far disproportionate, completely unchecked, and that's going to get off scot-free.
Yep.
Next.
I'll go next.
Go ahead.
I think tomorrow in the near future, what's just going to keep happening is with Taj
Ocean Man 404, thank you so much for the tier 1, buddy. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you.
has been happening. Trump is going to continue breaking more laws, becoming more lawless by the day. He's going to keep black bagging people. He's going to keep expanding the amount of allowed stuff that he can do judicially, like profiling people and being able to detain them for it. It's just going to keep happening. It's going to keep going. This is going to be another excuse to go after more people that he already wanted to go after at the start. And that's it.
Okay. Anyone else?
So hopefully we vote people in that will fucking stop it.
Yeah, I'll say realistically expecting what to happen.
Cliff notes?
I think it's going to be
death bad.
less than what people expect. I think we honestly, my feeling is there's going to be a wave of people coming out, basically trying to replicate what Charlie Kirk was doing,
Like, what do you want me to say?
and try and build it out and really prove that this is not going to stop. This is not going to stop the free speech debating ideas coalition, because I mean the alternative is to concede defeat, to say
that's very kind.
Actually we don't care that much if we're not willing to put our lives on the line for it. So I think realistically, I think we're going to see more of that. As far as like people organizing and trying to attack people, burn stuff down, I don't really see that happening. I can potentially see maybe some get-togethers, some marches, but it's like I think it's going to be a far less of a public outcry as far as what we might expect. Well, I guess we'll relate stuff back to the Summer of Love 2020, where it was nationwide, widespread type action. So I feel like that's what people are expecting to happen here.
I don't think Destiny's take and my take is like exactly the same. It's close enough, okay? There's some minor differences, okay? Okay, all right. That's about it. But saying it would be TOS, okay?
That like the right's going to arm up and just take over. I don't see that happening.
How about Trump? What do you think he's going to do?
Sorry, what? You're really quiet.
What do you think Trump is going to do? Is he going to keep breaking more laws like he has been doing this whole time?
Do not fed
ramp it up.
Okay.
Are you talking about as far as specifically remedying and finding who did this and prosecuting them, or just doing something like on immigration, which is unrelated?
I think that's a good enough answer. You don't think anything's going to happen? Okay.
Gen Z attorney, do you think he's going to keep beating his wife?
That's funny. But to I guess I think I sort of agree with Scott in that well, one, I think Charlie Kirk is going to be a martyr. He's going to be martyrized, right? You're gonna have shirts with his name on, with his face on it, right? With a halo on top, right? And he's sitting in heaven. He fought for us. What are you gonna do, or some shit like that, right? So that's happening. I think that in terms of what Scott said about them being more Charlie Kirks, I'm not sure if this will necessarily instigate that, but someone else will rise to take his place in TPUSA. I think that this might change the character.
Lynn, we can't even find Tupac. Just think about it. We can't even find Tupac. We are so cooked. Okay? We can't even find Tupac. Seriously? It's fucking Jover, okay? We can't find Tupac's killer, okay? We can't find Tupac's killer. All right?
Of commentary.
If we find this motherfucker, okay, it's unfair, okay? I hereby call upon the fact that we are super fucked, okay?
Right, because this is new, as far as I know, at least in my lifetime. Maybe back when radio was a big thing, there was an assassination like this, but I'm unaware. But in this type of era of internet personalities, I don't think we've ever seen anything quite like this before. And so I expect there to be some level of change there in how people act, maybe in the security that they demand for the events, right? That might be a thing. Beyond that, though, in terms of our government, I think this timeline barely diverges at all, except for like what Zip was saying. Kirk will be using an excuse for Trump to go after the enemy, say he was going to do any which way, right? Now it's just another excuse to go after the left. At universities, right? Like Charlie Kirk went on universities, and they protested among universities. They were raising Marxist leftists who are threats now, and we got to do something about it, right? Even when J.D. Vance, you can go back years ago, I think it was in 2021. He was.
Look, Lynn, listen. Okay, it was a joke. Okay, the Tupac thing was a joke. It was not meant to be taken seriously. Okay, okay, it was a joke. Okay, Jesus.
Literally giving the blueprint for what's happening now, right? On college campuses, on how they're going to shut it down. They're like, yeah, we just got to figure out an excuse, and then we can attack these campuses.
The person suspected of killing Tupac's trial starts in February 2026. Oh, based. Dude, I want to find out who the fuck killed Tupac. Holy shit. How'd this guy get away with this?
Attack them on ideological grounds, and we can start going after their funding. He talked about literally the exact game plan that Trump is doing now, right? It just happened to be a case that in between then and now, October 7th happened, right? And then the protests happened. And now, these protesters were anti-Semitic, and that's the attack they used. So now, so he's going to apply Kirk to that, right? To the college campus protests, or to if Kirk was a hard against immigration, right? Illegal immigration, he'll attack them. Like these people are threats to the country. That you can just do that ad infinitum.
Okay. Next, I guess.
Right. So, I mean, my concern, right, isn't as much about what's going to happen outright or what they're going to announce necessarily, or what's going to be this crazy public super backlash. But I mean, it's going to be the justification of the public that more people are going to accept for things escalating. A lot of things that are already happening to a degree, those going further.
I always wonder why you pronounce says like that. It says, not says. I'm bilingual, okay? That's all I'll say.
They're like, you know, people.
You know what? You know what? I am going to keep pronouncing words the wrong way, okay? Do you know why? Because that's a part of me, okay? I'm not going to kill the part of me that is Chinese. Okay? So, yeah.
People getting arrested unjustly, people not being able to protest, orgs getting shut down, people getting surveilled, etc. I mean, then they're going to be like, oh, well, we had to against this person, we had to against that person. And people are going to be like, okay, yeah, you're right. I mean, Charlie Kirk got, you know, murked. So, you know, that makes sense. And we're going to keep going with these, like, these reasons, like, kind of on the back of this, which is what my concern is. I mean, I'm concerned about, you know, orgs like Unfuck America, who... You know,
That's
like
cute.
people
Thank
like Z
you.
could easily find themselves like, you know, in the, you know, kind of direct, like, you know, line of attention from people like Donald Trump right now, and from people on the right who are obviously like upset about what happened to Charlie Kirk, even though, you know, the org had like nothing to do with it. I mean, I'm concerned about, you know, people who are speaking out. And I mean, I don't see everybody who was at a TPUSA event or who, you know, might support Trump or support Charlie Kirk as an enemy. I mean, I actually was at one of the Unfuck America events, and I talked to people who came to that who are from Charlie Kirk's thing, and, you know, we had civil debate. Like, you know, it's not like I'm just, I won't talk to you, fuck you guys. And I think that, you know, we should be willing to talk, but also willing to understand that this is going to be used for an excuse. That doesn't mean that people are all enemies or anything, but... Yeah.
Okay. 2 left. Which one?
I can go.
Go ahead.
So I was gonna type something out, but I'll try my best. But so when we started this conversation, we all said that what happened to Charlie Kirk was horrible, and we were mourning and grieving when we were talking about what the heck does this look like for our country moving forward. That's when we started talking about the left and the right, given the fact that it is so divided. We have to police our own. We can only police our own. No one's going to listen to anybody on the other side of the equation.
Foodshops, they found the DG logs? What?
So when we look at the left's messaging and the right's messaging when it comes to
Foodshops, I heard they pay okay. Is that true? They have pension.
violence from our own sides. I brought up Whitmer, and that got tossed out and minimized as like nothing, basically, because the FBI was involved, whatever. The Minnesota lawmakers, and then we talked about January 6th, and so we're talking about
Your voice is very low? Yeah, it's low on purpose.
all of these, and then it gets thrown out as whataboutism, and we talk about how we can't call people on the right fascist because that's going to make them feel otherized, and it's going to make them want to attack and not feel heard, and blah, blah, blah. Yet when we get Trump, his message to the American people about what happens next, and he calls out the radical left for being responsible for terrorism, he calls them terrorists, says he's going to go after these organizations who are to blame for Charlie Kirk's death. When you see that and you see the right, you look to the right and say, okay, well, we can't do whataboutism. What are we doing moving forward now? And you can't even condemn it and say that it's a horrible thing to say and that it's going to obviously cause more violence and more tension. It's not going to do anything to de-escalate the situation. So when you actually have somebody in real time just completely minimize, again, Trump's words like it's nothing, what's going to happen, I wish more than anything that we all could have sat around and said that Trump's messaging...
You ready for the real rhetoric? Haha. See, I even have the Asian accent when I say that. The real rhetoric rhetoric. The real rhetoric is that it's conservatives that assassinated Charlie Kirk. The shooter was just an arm of the far right. Okay? The shooter was just the ultimate result of the far right's doing, of the current conservative party's doing, to raise the temperature in our country, to have this be the result, is not a matter of if, but when. Okay? Not if one falls, when one falls. Yeah?
Was horrible, and it's going to create all this violence, because then we could have all stood together and get ready to actually police the United States population together, and we can stand united and have this be a uniting factor and say, fuck you, Trump, that's disgusting, don't do that. And
a societally engineered weapon of the right. Oh, that's a good one. Thank you, PZC. Yeah. A socially engineered weapon of the right. The raising of temperature in our country is a weapon used by the right, solidified into fear, distilled fear, okay, by the right to fuck America over, okay?
we can't do that. So since we're left to police our own, and the right doesn't give a fuck about whatever comes out of Trump's mouth for some fucking reason that I'll never understand, it's just gonna be the same thing that we have to deal with all the time until the right wakes up or something happens, Trump gets out of Trump leaves office. I don't know. It's just very disappointing to see. That's all.
He's definitely gonna leave office, I'm sure.
Well, I think starting tomorrow, I think it's going to be more of the same with the exception. I think it's going to be a flip, basically, of the...
Based. I'm already tired of the arguments. Is it just going to be the same? Like, oh my god, I really hope it's not just like... You know what? I'm pretty passionate about this issue, okay? I'm pretty passionate about this issue, so you know what? I dig it, okay? If not, because tomorrow I'll probably get banned off of YouTube, but you know what? Good luck.
2008 to 2016 era of suppressing dissident voices, but it's going to hit a lot harder because there are a lot more. The people who Trump identifies as the radical left are much larger, much better funded than the dissidents of the right, libertarians and such that were being suppressed. So I think we're going to see a lot more activity from the government. I think those same activists, judges, and prosecutors who are letting animals loose on the street probably going to get hit pretty hard by whatever kind of executive action comes out of this. And I think it is going to sweep up normal lefty activism that isn't attached to BLM riots or burning down college campuses or anything.
Oh, Peaches did well. Peaches did well. Yeah.
Anything like that. I think it is going to be used to excessively punish people who are just kind of like not even dissidents, just kind of normal, like people who aren't fans of Israel. I think are going to get swept into this pretty hard because that's what happened to a lot of the people. That's what happened to the anti-war guys back after 2001. So
it's a lot, gang.
I'm not excited. I think that some problems are going to be solved, but I don't think that the overall escalation issue is going to be solved by it. I think it's going to be made worse.
I'll do the last one, and just to be clear, what we're doing right now, gang, I've been streaming for like 7 hours at this point, maybe yeah, 7 hours.
Get some sleep, bud.
I do have to go, but we're going to raid in. You guys can keep talking. We're going to raid in to, I think She's Right's streaming, so we might raid into her.
Well, interesting. Well, I guess he just lost that debate. Yep, he really lost that debate, guys. Oof. Hmm. My food is here. Hold on. We'll react to... Wow, that was a crazy panel. Tectone, Asmongold on Charlie Kirk. Oh boy, that's just fantastic. I think so. So Destiny apparently had a debate, with someone. I don't know who this person is on Charlie Kirk.
Celebrating the Democrat hospital only
figure who broke, cases were.
Richard Hanania. That's just fantastic. This is... I'm gonna get cancer from this. Jesus Christ. Rest of you are hosting a music night. It's kind of funny. Hold on, be right back.